A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tenderay Beef, no other beef so fresh can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. Tell me something, ladies. Have you remembered to place Kroger quality beef at the very top of today's shopping list? Well, don't forget it, because Kroger quality beef is a perfect main dish for vigorous appetites these winter days. Yes, you'll very definitely want to treat your family to a delicious Kroger quality beef steak or roast. And what a grand treat it'll be. Kroger quality beef is tasty and tender and brimming with flavorful, rich juices. And you get all that wonderful goodness because Kroger quality beef is carefully selected from the very best beef available on the market today. And another thing, Kroger quality beef is priced for downright economy. It's a thrifty buy, a tasty buy. And you'll want to take advantage of it just as soon as you can. So don't delay. Visit your Kroger store and get Kroger quality beef. And remember, it's an exclusive Kroger feature. The only place you can buy Kroger quality beef is at your Kroger store. And don't forget this. Kroger quality beef is the very best beef available on the market today. Be sure to get some soon as you can. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Madeline Dodge, who has an intense dislike for Penny Gibbs, was delighted to hear that wealthy Carrie Carlton hired Penny only because the job may mean trouble. All Penny knows about the job, however, is that her duties will be secret. Penny has not yet received her first assignment, and today, being Nora's day off, she says,
Nora, you come here a minute?
Sure.
Are you going to your father's farm today?
Oh, yes, I am, Miss Gibbs. Freddie's going to drive me out. We're going to paint the inside of the barn.
The whole inside?
Uh-huh.
Good heavens, that sounds like an awful job.
Oh, we're not going to try to paint it all in one day. We're just going to do as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be finished for over a week yet.
Oh, that's all right then.
Mm-hmm.
Nora.
Yes?
I hate to do this to you on your day off, but I'm expecting a phone call from Mrs. Carlton today.
Mm-hmm.
She said she'd phone and that it might be urgent. I hate to ask this, but...
Oh, you'd rather I didn't take the day off today, Miss Gibbs?
Well, no, especially not since you're going to help your father and Freddie at the dairy, but could you have Freddie drive you into the general store sometime this afternoon and phone me?
Sure.
I might have to ask you to come back early.
Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs. I won't go at all.
No, I want you to go. I probably won't ask you to come back to town when you do call this afternoon. But I just thought that it might be safer.
Oh, golly, Miss Gibbs, I won't mind at all. I'll probably be so tired of painting by noon today, I'll be hoping you want me to come back.
Well, I hope I don't have to ask you to. Nora, you dressed warmly enough?
Oh, sure, Miss Gibbs.
It's awfully cold out.
Oh, I'm used to the cold. Besides, there's a heater in the truck.
The truck?
Mm-hmm.
What truck?
Oh, one of the trucks Daddy and Freddie bought for the dairy. Oh, you didn't know they have 2 beautiful trucks. You should have seen them when Freddie first bought them. Freddie says he's sure they were hit by a train.
For goodness sakes, why did your father and Freddie buy them?
Well, they weren't quite as bad as Freddie said at first. Only one of them wouldn't run. He had to tow it out to the farm with the one that did work. Oh, Daddy was so mad at first. He said he was going into the dairy business with Freddie, not the junk business.
Oh, no. Well, why did Freddie buy such a terrible wreck?
Oh, he wanted to save money. Daddy wasn't mad for very long. The next day he had both the trucks running perfectly, and then he took a hammer and straightened out all the bent fenders and the doors, and he and Daddy painted them, and he looked just super. Oh, there's Freddie now.
In one of the trucks?
Yes. Oh, couldn't you tell by the funny horn? It's the only thing Freddie hasn't fixed so far in this one. Come to the door and look at it, Miss Gibbs.
All right, Nora.
Here, I'll...
No, don't open it, Nora. It's too cold to stand in an open door.
Oh, sure.
I'll just push back the curtain and see just as well. Well, Nora, that looks like a lovely truck.
Isn't it just super? Daddy and Freddie have 2 of them.
Is it going to be just all white like that? Or are you going to have the name of the dairy on it?
Oh, they're going to have the dairy name on both the trucks, but they haven't decided what to name it yet. Do you have any ideas, Miss Gibbs?
No, Nora, I don't, but you better hurry. Freddie's waiting.
Oh, yes, and he'll be mad if I don't hurry, too. You'll try to think of a super name, won't you, Miss Gibbs? The only one we have now is Freddie's.
Well, what does Freddie want to name it?
The CCC Dairy.
The CCC Dairy?
Mm-hmm.
What do the 3 C's mean?
Cows Country Club. Oh. Isn't Freddie silly, Miss Gibbs?
Yes, Nora, he is. And he's also getting impatient. I can tell by the way he's blowing that horn. Better hurry out.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye, and have a nice time, Nora. And don't forget to phone me this afternoon.
Well, Nora, how do you like the way this buggy rides, huh? I'm some fixer-upper, ain't I?
Oh, the truck's just super, Freddie.
I got a name for it, you know.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
What'd you name it?
Guess. In fact, I got names for both the trucks.
Well, what are they? Oh, crickets, I can't guess. There's so many names.
No, not with me there ain't. There's just 2 names. You see, this truck's name is Nora, and the one out at the farm is called Gibbsy.
Oh, Freddie, that's sweet.
Sweet nothing. I'm just trying to keep my luck, that's all. I did all right with a couple of dames named Nora and Gibbsy before, so I figured I'd just...
but Miss Gibbs' name isn't Gibbsy.
Huh?
It's Penny.
Oh, no, not to me, kid. It's still Gibbsy. And that's the way it's going to stay, too. Yes, sirree. In fact, Hey there, Nora. What's the matter with you, huh?
Nothing's the matter with me. I didn't do that. The truck did.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to the truck. Her name is Nora, too, remember? Now, come on, Nora. Be a good old girl now and don't bust a gasket on me. Come on. Let's go. Well, I'll be...
Well, Fixer, can you fix this, too?
Oh, sure I can fix this, Nora.
Nora. Now who are you talking to, me or the truck?
You. Just sit tight, will you, kid? I'll take a look under the hood and see why this rattle trap quit rattling.
What do you think's the matter?
Oh, it's probably nothing much. Right now, the trouble is that I can't even get this hood to go up.
Well, you did that all right. Can you see what the trouble is yet?
Are you kidding? Hey, what do you think runs these crates around anyway? A rubber band? You know, Nora, an engine's really got a lot of stuff in it. Oh, I guess this is the trouble right here.
Can you fix it?
Yeah, sure. I can fix this up in a jiffy. I'm a real fixer-upper, I am. Now, let's see. There. Guess that's got it. I hope. Now, we give it just another push for good measure. There. Guess that did it.
What was the matter, Freddie?
Well, there's a washer on the... Oh, you wouldn't know if I told you. There, I guess we can get going again now.
Why wouldn't I know if you told me, Freddie? You think I don't know anything about motors?
Nope. And I don't want you to know nothing about them either. Yeah. You see, motors is one thing that I do know about, and I don't want you someday telling me all about that too, Nora.
Oh.
You see, I got to be the boss of you in one department at least. Is that okay?
Okay. Are you going to be the boss of the painting, or am I?
Well, let you take the low boards, and I'll take the high boards.
Oh, sure, and you'll drip paint in my hair.
No, I won't. Hey, you can wear my hat.
A lot of good that'll do. Your hat.
Okay, then. Guess the best idea is to paint standing side by side, huh?
Oh, crickets, Freddie. I didn't think you were ever going to say that.
Get you. Or would it be better to say, hey, look who's got you?
Hello?
Hello, Miss Gibbs?
Yeah?
Oh, this is Nora, Miss Gibbs. You told me to call you this afternoon.
Oh, yes, Nora, I'm glad you did. I'm afraid I have bad news for you.
You want me to come back right away?
Yes, if you can.
Oh, cricket, sure, Miss Gibbs. Freddie and I have done so much painting, I don't think we'll ever be able to look at a paintbrush again.
Well, I hope you had a good time just the same.
Oh, yes, we did. And guess what, Miss Gibbs?
Hmm?
We've had Daddy and Freddie's 2 trucks named after us.
We have?
Yes. One is named Nora. That's the one you saw, out in front of the house.
Yeah, I remember.
And the other one at the farm is named Gibbsy. It has a flat tire.
Oh, no.
Oh, golly, what I said.
Well, I'm sure I don't mind if my namesake has a flat tire, as long as I don't have to fix it.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way, Miss Gibbs. I'm awfully sorry.
Well, you needn't be, Nora.
Oh, but I am. And Freddie and I will be in right away to make up for it.
Well, look, don't let Freddie drive too fast.
Oh, no, I won't, Miss Gibbs. Goodbye.
Bye, Nora.
Freddie.
Yeah?
Miss Gibbs needs me at the house right away, so we better start back to town right now.
Well, come on, Gibbsy. Tell us what it's all about, will you?
Well, I'll tell you what I can, Freddie. You better put another log on the fire. It's dying a little.
Oh, yeah, sure thing.
Oh, am I in the way, Freddie?
No, that's all right, Nora. I can get it. There. Guess that'll practically roast us right out of the house. Okay, Gibbsy, let's go. Spill it.
All right. Well, I received a phone call from Mrs. Carlton this afternoon, just as I expected.
Yeah.
And my job is going to be a little different than I imagined.
Huh?
Something you don't like, Miss Gibbs?
Well, I won't know until I've done it a few times, Nora, but I'll have to be away once in a while, out of Roseville, I mean. And sometimes the trips will keep me away overnight.
Gibbsy, what's this Carlton dame making out of you anyway? A traveling salesman?
Oh, no, Freddie. I just have to run certain errands for her. That's what I have to do this afternoon. That's why I need you here, Nora. I'm sorry.
Oh, crickets, it's all right, Miss Gibbs.
Yeah, sure it is, Gibbsy. That's okay. But, where do you have to go this afternoon?
I can't tell you.
Can't, huh? What is this?
It's very important that the whole affair is secret, that's all, Freddie. And I want both of you to promise me something very faithfully.
Yes?
Don't ever tell anyone that I'm working for Mrs. Carlton.
Why not?
Because it's forbidden, that's all.
Forbidden? By who, the Carlton dame?
You can consider it forbidden by me, Freddie. Now promise me you will you?
Oh, sure.
And Nora? Will you remember never to tell anyone I'm working for Mrs. Carlton?
Yes, Miss Gibbs, I promise.
Good. I know you won't go back on your promise, either one of you. So, if you'll excuse me, I'll get my hat and coat. Oh, Nora?
Yes?
Don't wait dinner for me. I'll be very late.
All right, Miss Gibbs. What's the matter, Freddie?
What's the matter? I don't like what Gibbsy's doing. That's what's the matter. Hey, look, Nora. Don't wait chow up for me either, will you?
Freddie, where are you going?
Where, I don't know yet. But wherever Gibbsy's going, I think I'm going to be going there too, Nora. Because, there's something screwy going on here. And I'm going to find out just what it is.
So, Penny is going on a mysterious errand for Mrs. Carlton. Why must her work remain secret? And will Freddie help Penny by following her, or get her into trouble? What will Freddie find out? And what is Penny doing for the wealthy Mrs. Carlton? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. Say, Mother, don't wrinkle your forehead like that. Why, it's easy to choose a main dinner dish for tonight everyone will enjoy. Serve beef, Kroger quality beef, and you'll find your evening meal has plenty of eye appeal and taste appeal for that family of yours. It's delicious, it's tender, it's juicy, and it's bound to be a wonderful treat for you and your family. Watch how delighted your folks are when they see what's on the menu, for beef is almost everybody's favorite meat. Yes, lady, you can forget your what-to-have-for-dinner blues and serve your family's favorite cut of Kroger quality beef. Visit your Kroger store and get Kroger quality beef the way you like it best. And remember this, Kroger quality beef is the best beef you can get right now. Buy Kroger quality beef with confidence at your neighborhood Kroger store. Now your local announcer.
The story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A small boy is reported missing from his home. His age, 9 years. Foul play is suspected. Your job? Find him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, December 22nd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Freddie. I was on the way into work, and it was 3:55 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide. Hi, Joe. Ben? Well, here's the file on the Webster case. Remember all the follow-ups been made? Yeah. I get it. Homicide, Friday.
This Levinson, Unit 113J. Got something for you.
Yeah, Harry, what's doing?
Doherty and I are out here on Collis Avenue, 4656, trying to track down a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, what's the story?
The kid's missing, suspicion of foul play.
How long's he been gone?
About 2 hours. Looks like a job for homicide.
How do you figure?
The kid was last seen playing in the backyard of his home.
Yeah?
We checked over the yard.
Did you find anything?
Bloodstains, lots of them. They look new.
Ben and I left a message for Chief of Detectives Thad Brown, and then we went over to the crime lab, picked up Lieutenant Lee Jones, and drove out the Arroyo Seco Freeway to Collis Avenue. It was an average neighborhood. Number 4656 was a one-story green stucco residence situated on the corner of Collis Avenue and Harrison Drive. Beyond the backyard was a tract of undeveloped land covered with scrub oak. Harry Levinson from Highland Park Juvenile was waiting for us in front of the house.
Go back this way, fellas.
Coming, Lee?
Till I get my bag.
Who notified you that the boy was missing, Harry?
Mother said she went out to do some Christmas shopping about 11 this morning, left the boy home.
Mm-hmm.
She came back about 2 this afternoon. He was gone.
What's the name?
Johnstone. The kid's name is Stanley, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm. Was this gate open like this when you got here?
Yeah, I haven't touched a thing. Here are the stains over here, Lieutenant Jones, along the edge of the walk. See?
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, quite a few stains, huh?
Yeah. Looks like it might be blood. Try some benzidine on. There we are. See what happened.
Where's the kid's mother now, Harry?
In the house. Doherty's talking to her.
Did you talk to any of the neighbors?
People next door are the ones on this side. They couldn't tell us anything.
There it is, fellas.
Yeah, Lee.
These spots I covered with benzidine, they're turning blue. Blood stains, all right. You can't say definitely whether it's human or animal blood.
Mm-hmm. You have to go back to the lab to run it through?
Yeah, biological precipitant test. Hand me one of those glass files for my bag, will you?
Yeah, sure. Okay, here you go.
Thanks. Scrape some flakes off for a test. There we are.
How soon can you tap the blood for us, Lee?
Precipitant test won't run more than 20 minutes. It'll take 3 or 4 hours to run a blood grouping, though. That's it. Anything else you want to check?
Levinson? Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Right here in my handkerchief. Empty shell. That marker over there by the rose bush? That's where I found it.
Number 22, huh?
Yeah. Might tie in, might not.
Mark it and dump it in this envelope, will you?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Did you get a missing broadcast on the boy, Harry?
Doherty did about a half an hour ago. Here's a description here.
Thank you. Will Mother know about the blood stains?
No, we didn't tell her. She's worried enough already.
She has no idea what might have happened to her boy, huh?
No more than we do. She checked all her friends and relatives. We're covering the neighborhood. No trace so far.
Not much to go on.
Blood stains. Empty cartridge.
Yeah, it could mean 100 things.
Any ideas, Freddie?
Just one, and I don't like it. 4:30 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. The neighborhood search for 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone continued. Lee Jones went back to the crime lab to start the precipitant test and the blood grouping. Levinson and his partner Doherty from Highland Juvenile stood by. We called Chief of Detectives Thad Brown, and he ordered up a special detail to aid in the search for the missing boy. Ben and I questioned the boy's mother, Mrs. Ruth Johnstone, a woman in her early 40s. She seemed fairly calm under the circumstances.
Miss Johnson, is your boy Stanley in the habit of wandering off without telling you where he's going?
No, he's not in the habit of wandering off, but he has done it before.
Well, when was the last time, Miss Johnston?
You don't have any children, do you, Sergeant Freddie?
No, ma'am, I'm not married.
Well, there comes a time in every young boy's life when he feels it is time to leave home, go out on his own. Usually happens somewhere around 8 to 10.
I think I know what you mean. I have a boy.
Well, then you know how it is. My husband and I scolded Stanley one afternoon after school, and he was quite put out about it. Thought George and I were unfair. Packed a few of his things and left.
Well, how long was he gone?
Oh, no time at all, about 2 hours. I was worried about him, but my husband said to leave him alone. But every boy had to go through that stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you think that he's run away from home again this time?
Yes, I think so. He's been gone about 4 hours now, and I have a funny feeling about it.
Did you and his father have some misunderstanding with the boy recently?
Well, that's just it. We haven't. I don't mind telling you now that we're talking about it. I am getting worried.
Well, is there any place around that he might like to visit, a hobby shop, playground, someplace he might be?
Yes, there's Jensen's model shop, Little Shannon Burroughs, but I've already called there, and he hasn't been seen all day. I've called all his friends, and they have no idea where he is either.
Well, we'd like a list of all of his friends and the places that he was known to frequent.
Yes, all right, I'll give them to you. Where do you suppose he is?
Where's your husband now, Miss Johnson?
At work. George works for the city. He's a fireman.
What house is he stationed at?
Engine Company 12. He's working the A platoon. He'll be home tomorrow morning. I haven't told him Stanley's gone.
Was there any chance the boy might be down at the firehouse with his father?
No, he seldom goes down there anymore. No, I don't think he's there. I'm awfully worried. May I call my husband?
Certainly, go ahead.
I know George will be worried. Engine Company 12, please. Stanley's been gone too long. Hello? May I please speak with George Johnstone? This is Mrs. Johnstone. Thank you. Oh, I hate to call George at his work.
Yes, ma'am. Does your husband own a gun?
Yes, he does.
What caliber, do you know?
It's a .45 automatic. He got a knock. George? This is Ruth. George, is Stanley down there with you by any chance? Oh. No, I can't find him anywhere. He wasn't here when I came home from doing my shopping. There are 2 policemen here. No, I said there are 2 policemen here. No, dear, I'll call you if we don't find him soon. All right, dear. Yes, you too. Goodbye. I didn't think he'd be with George.
That .45, is that the only gun in the household?
Yes. Why are you asking about guns? Has anything happened that you're not telling me about?
No, ma'am, just routine checking. We'll have to take a look at that .45 if you don't mind.
Maybe I should tell you we do have another gun in the house, but it's all wrapped up. George bought it for Stanley's Christmas present.
What if we could see it, please?
Yes, well, will you have to unwrap it?
Yes, ma'am, I'm afraid so.
It's in the closet. We had to hide it. Let me see. Look, there's a paper it was wrapped in. Stanley must have found it. It's gone. You see, here's the gift card and the box the gun came in, the rifle.
I wonder if I could look at that box, ma'am. Thanks. How about it, Joe? .22 caliber. Thursday, December 22nd, 5:15 p.m. It was getting dark. The search for the missing boy continued. We checked the list of Stanley Johnstone's friends. None of them or their parents had any idea of his whereabouts. We talked with Levinson again. He'd been in touch with the detail combing the neighborhood. They'd found nothing. We went down to Collis Avenue and 10th Street, the service station on the corner. One nickel, Joe? No, I got one. Will you watch the fan? Yeah.
City Hall?
2667, please.
2667?
Crime Lab, Jones.
Hi, Lee. Joe Friday.
Yeah, Joe. Any sign of the Johnson kid?
No, not yet. How are you coming?
Finished the precipitant test. It's human blood.
Yeah?
Working on the blood group now. Do you know what type the Johnson boy has?
Well, I didn't want to upset his mother. Thought I'd wait till the last thing. We're in the neighborhood.
Check with the family physician. That way you won't disturb her.
Yeah, I figured on that. Just a minute, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Most is pulled up.
Okay. Thad Brown's out here now. I'll check you later, Lee, huh?
All right, Joe.
Right, bye.
All right.
Oh, this way, Jim. Gentlemen, I'll
How's it going?
We just checked with Lee Jones.
Yeah, I know. It's human blood. What do you think?
We talked with the boy's mother, Mrs. Johnstone, found a gun missing.
Yeah?
Caliber's the same as the empty casing Levinson found, 22.
You said the gun was missing?
Yeah, the Johnstones were going to give it to the boys a Christmas present. They had it hidden, but it's gone.
Any idea who took it?
Well, they left the Christmas wrapping behind. I think it was the kid.
22 rifle, 9-year-old boy. When's he going to learn? First, it's carbide cannons on the 4th of July. The city issued ordinance after ordinance. A few thousand kids around the country had to lose their eyes, fingers, hands before their parents would give us their full cooperation to outlaw them.
I know what you mean.
Sure you do. You and every other cop in the country became the heavies trying to clamp down on them. So it's the same story. This time it's guns for Christmas.
Well, I know what you're thinking, but we're not sure yet.
Listen, Friday. There's a city ordinance against giving a gun to a kid. You know that.
Yeah, I know that.
There's a missing boy and a missing gun. There's blood on the ground and an empty shell. That's enough for me.
Yeah, we're going to stay with it. Something's got to break.
Yeah? I hope it's not the hearts of that kid's parents.
Hi, Chief. Been looking for you, Freddie.
What do you got, Harry?
Found the gun. New 22 rifle. That says it's been fired recently.
Where'd you find it, Levinson?
Back up there in that scrub oak behind the Johnstone house. Mrs. Johnstone identified it. Buckley took it down to the crime lab.
Thanks, Harry. Miss Johnstone okay?
Pretty sick now. Doherty came up with something else.
What's that?
There's another one missing. An 8-year-old boy.
6:30 p.m. We talked with Officer Doherty about the other missing boy. He told us that his name was Stephen Moorheim, 8 years old. His family had just moved into the neighborhood. It seemed that no one besides the Moorheim family knew that the boys played together. Mrs. Moorheim told us that Stephen told her that he was going out to play and that he'd be home by 6 o'clock for dinner. She told us that he was an unusually prompt boy and almost never overstayed his playtime. We got a description of the Moorheim boy and put out a missing broadcast. We called the Johnstones' family doctor. He told us that Stanley's blood was type O. At 7 p.m., we talked again with Mrs. John Moorheim.
Are you sure Mrs. Johnstone doesn't know where the boys are?
She has no idea, Mrs. Moorheim.
Oh, this is terrible. Just awful. I feel there's more to this thing, something you're not telling me.
There's no use to upset you until we know a few things for sure.
And you're holding back something.
Well, now, please try not to worry, Miss Moorheim. There are certain things that we're going to have to ask you, routine questions in any kind of investigation.
Is there anything else you want to know?
Yes, ma'am. What is your boy's blood type?
It's a funny question. Do you think anything's happened to him? Have you found him and you're not telling me?
No, ma'am, we haven't found him, and we don't think anything's happened to him.
His blood type?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think I have it written down in Stevie's baby book. Yes, here it is. It's type O.
Thank you. I wonder if I might use your phone?
Yes, of course, it's in the hall.
I'll be right back then.
Okay.
City Hall.
2667, please.
2667?
Crime lab, Pinker.
Hello, Ray. This is Joe Friday. Is Lee there?
Just a minute, Joe. Take 2, Lee.
Jones speaking.
Checking back, Lee.
Did you get the blood types on the 2 missing boys?
Yeah, both type O.
So were the stains, Joe. Type O.
Thursday, December 22nd. Still no sign of either of the missing boys. Chief of Detectives Thad Brown went back to headquarters to direct the search from there. He dispatched another detail of 50 men to aid in the hunt for the missing youngsters. 8:30 p.m. It was getting a little colder. The citrus growers were warned to expect a freeze. We went up the block to see Mrs. Johnstone. Her husband had quit work early and returned home. We talked with him for a while. He could tell us nothing more than we already knew. We still had not informed either of the families about the blood stains and the empty cartridge casing which had been discovered in the backyard of the Johnstone home. It was more than possible that they had a right to know about our findings, but Ben and I felt that there was no cause to add to the distress of the two families at this time. If the 2 missing boys were found alive and well, then the blood stains and the cartridge would be of no concern to the relieved parents. At 8:40 p.m., Ben and I left the Johnstone house and went to the home of Mr. and Mrs. John Moorheim.
Miss Moorheim, you said your husband worked at a market?
Yes, he telephoned about 15 minutes ago. Said he's closing up right away. He'll be here any minute. I wish Stevie would call. come home. It's so cold out tonight. All he had on was a thin cotton jacket.
Well, try not to worry. We're doing everything we can. He'll be all right.
Stevie's father's such a sensitive man. He and the boy are so close. I know he's terribly upset.
Now, you're sure there's no place that you might have forgotten, someplace where the boy might be?
No place. No. If anything's happened to the boy, it'll just kill John.
No.
You sit still. I'll get him, Miss Moore.
Joe?
Yeah.
The Johnstone kid, he's been found.
He's home, Sergeant. He's come home. Thank God he's all right.
Where's he been? Did he tell you?
No, he didn't. His clothes are all dirty and he's acting strange. Never seen him like this.
How do you mean, Miss Johnston?
Well, he just came to the front door and said, "Hello, Mom." And he sat down in a chair and stared at the floor. He won't talk to his father and me.
You mind if I talk to him?
No, go ahead. I asked him about the little Moorheim boy, but he wouldn't tell me a thing.
Where is he now?
Right over there in the living room.
Looks all right.
Yes. Son, this is a police officer. He wants to talk to you. Don't be afraid, dear. He only wants to ask you some questions. Son. You see, Sergeant?
Stanley, look at me, son. Come on, youngster. Get your head up there. That's better. He has your mother pretty worried. You know that. You want to tell us where you've been?
We should try to get him to eat a little something.
You hear that, son? Want something to eat? Stanley, there's another little boy up the street who hasn't come home. You know where he is? His father and mother are worried about him, too. Just like your folks were. We're going to ask you to help us find him.
I killed him. I killed Steve with the .22. We were only playing, but I killed him.
How do you know you killed him? Maybe he's only hurt now, isn't he?
No, he's dead. I know he's dead. The gun went off. We forgot we put bullets in there.
Where is he, Stanley?
I hit him. I was scared. I didn't want anybody to find him.
Where did you hide him, son?
In a cave up on the hill. I didn't mean it. He was my pal.
You want to show us where, Stanley?
Yes, I'll show you. Please, don't send me to jail.
(9:15 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone led the way up the hill behind the backyard of his home. He showed us the wagon that he moved the body in. His father came along with us. About 50 feet from the crest of the hill, the boy pointed to a thicket of scrub oak. There we found a small cave holding the body of Stephen Moorheim. There was a single bullet wound in his chest just below his heart. It was dead. We covered the body.
Stanley, how did it happen?
I knew my folks were going to give me the gun for Christmas. I knew where it was, and I got it. There was a box of bullets with it.
Were you pointing the gun at Stevenson?
No, sir. No, sir, I wasn't. It was Steve's turn to play with it. I was chasing him. He tripped over that stump there, and he fell. Gun hit him in the stomach, and it went off.
Well, why do you think you killed him if you're telling us the truth?
I'm telling the truth. Honest, that's the truth.
Well, I believe you, son, but why do you think you killed him?
It was my gun. Stevie'd still be alive if I didn't go and get it. I should have waited till Christmas. It's all my fault.
Well, where have you been all this time?
In the cave with Steve.
What were you doing in there, son?
I was praying. I was praying for God to make him alive again.
After a thorough investigation, Ben and I were convinced that the shooting of Stephen Moorheim was accidental. Lieutenant Lee Jones' findings substantiated the Johnstone boy's story even to the smallest detail. We put in a call to the coroner's office, and we acquainted him with the facts. He designated a local mortuary to handle the body, pending autopsy, and granted us permission to remove the body to the Moorheim home. Mrs. Moorheim collapsed. The family doctor was called. Ben and I sat in the living room to wait for John Moorheim, the dead boy's father.
Edith? Edith?
Mr. Moorheim?
Yeah, you the police?
Yes.
Well, where's Edith? Where's my wife? Has my boy come home? Have you found him?
Yes, sir.
Well, where is he? Steve? Stevie? Where's Steve? He's hurt, isn't he?
Yes, sir, yes.
Well, where is he? I want to see him.
He's hurt bad, Mr. Moorheim.
Where is he? I want to see him. How bad?
Pretty bad.
He's dead. All right, if I go in.
Yes, sir, if you want.
Will you go with me?
Sure. Don't make it any harder on yourself, Mr. Moorheim.
I want to see my boy.
Mr. Moorheim.
Listen to me, son. We got you a lot of nice things for Christmas. Everything you wanted. I got you the 3 new cars for the train. That one with a searchlight on it really works, son. Got you that new switch you wanted. A lot more track. Oh, now you can have big layout. And you know that new baseball mitt we saw? I got it for you. The cowboy outfit you want. I got it.
Mr. Moorheim. Come on, you.
What happened?
It was an accident. He was playing with a Johnstone boy up the street. Playing with a gun. It went off.
What was the other boy's name?
Stanley Johnstone. It was an accident. Mr. Moorheim, where are you going?
I want to see that boy.
We had no idea what the dead boy's father had in mind. We didn't feel that we should try to restrain him. Ben and I went along with him up the street to the Johnstone home.
I'm Stevie's father. Where's your boy?
I'm sorry. We bought the rifle. We were going to tell him not to use it unless his father was with him until he learned how to treat firearms.
Where's your boy?
Right here. Won't you come in?
It's all right, Miss Johnstone.
You the boy that was with Stevie?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Stanley.
I know it wasn't your fault, Stanley. Wonder if you'd do something for me.
Yes, sir.
I've got a lot of nice presents for Stevie. I know he'd want you to have them. I want to give them to you Christmas Eve.
Mom?
I think that'd be a fine idea, son.
Come on, Ben. Well, what's it all prove, Joe? You don't give a kid a gun for Christmas.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 24th, 1948, a coroner's inquest was held in the county morgue, city and county of Los Angeles, state of California. In a moment, the results of that inquest. At the coroner's inquest, it was officially recorded that Stephen Moorheim's death was the result of an accident. Stanley Johnstone was absolved of any legal responsibility for his friend's death. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Novak For Hire.
Sure, I'm Pat Novak. For hire. That's what the sign out in front of my office says. Pat Novak for hire. It's about the only way to say it. Oh, you can dress it up and tell how many shopping days there are till Christmas. But if you got yourself in the market, you can't waste time talking. You gotta be as brief as a pauper's will. Because down on the waterfront in San Francisco, everybody wants a piece of the cake. And the only easy buck is the one you just spent. Oh, it's a good life. If you work real hard and study a little on the side, you got a trade by the time you get to prison. I rent boats and do a few other odd jobs you can't afford to pick it on. It works out all right if you put your tongue in hock. Because down here, you shouldn't talk. It's like installing a set of drums in a belfry. You make some noise, but it's never the right kind. I found that out a few days ago. Must have been Tuesday or Wednesday night anyway. I was sitting in the office reading Time magazine when the door opened. I looked up and had to keep right on going because the guy was so tall he'd have to bend over to see through a transom. And he had a voice deep enough to red out as a bassoon.
Good evening, Mr. Novak.
I'll take your word for it.
You have a small office.
I'm small time. What's on your mind?
My name is Lahey. I want to hire you.
Yeah, sit down. Are you cold?
Yeah?
That overcoat around your neck, you're either cold or a priest.
Oh. I'm a priest, Mr. Novak.
I'm sorry, Father. You got a slow brogue. What do you need?
A few hours of your time. I want you to help a man escape from prison.
Uh-huh. Father, you'll never get along with the bishop.
Mr. Novak, in a curious way, this is an errand of mercy.
Well, this isn't my year for mercy. I'm sorry, Father. Maybe you don't like to hear it that way, but if I got the right fee, it wouldn't be mercy anymore.
When I say it's an errand of mercy, that's what it is. Sometime tonight, a man is going to break out of Alcatraz. If he's allowed to get into town, he may kill somebody.
You want me to stop him?
That's right. And if he doesn't kill anybody, he can still be shot down by the police.
Well, that's the percentage, Father. If he comes off that rock, he knows that. Stop worrying about him.
If you could bring him to me, I know I can talk him into going back.
Tell headquarters they'll do the same thing.
If I did that, I'd break a promise. This is the only thing I can do. Will you help me?
Yeah, I suppose. How do I pick him up? Tread water in the bay till he comes by?
He's due in at Pier 19 sometime tonight. When he comes ashore, bring him to me. I'll be waiting at the ferry building.
Yeah, well, suppose he doesn't want to come. Suppose he wants to party. How am I going to get him there?
I don't ask you how to say the beads. If you're any good, you'll get him there.
But you don't want him in sections.
I want him all at once, Mr. Novak. I wouldn't ask you this if it weren't important. But I gotta help him. He's one of my boys.
Yeah, sure. What's his name?
Joe Feldman.
Feldman?
Yeah. If I don't worry about the spelling, you don't have to either. He's one of my boys.
Slow down. Nobody's pushing you, Father.
I don't know when he's due, but I'll be at the ferry building from 8 o'clock on.
Yeah. I only got one worry.
Huh?
Is there really a guy named Father Lahey?
I suppose you'll have to take a chance on that.
Yeah, well, it's a big chance. You come in here with a story anybody can see through like a screen door, and I'm supposed to buy it. You could dig up a collar. What happens if you're a fake?
Just try to guess right.
Suppose I don't.
Then you're in the same spot Pontius Pilate was. Good night, Mr. Novak.
Whoever Joe Feldman was, he had a good friend. Because when Father Lahey walked out of there, I knew he was all right. You could tell without even testing him. The way when you pick up a pool cue, you know right away whether it's any good or not. He stood at the door for a minute, and then he walked out. And you got a funny feeling that he didn't walk into the night, that he was big enough to wrap it around his shoulders and take it with him. I got a last look at him as he turned the corner under a street lamp. He looked even taller now, and you knew if somebody stood him in an oil field, you couldn't tell him from the rest of the derricks. Well, I made a couple of phone calls, and then I closed shop and went down to the end of Pier 19 to wait. The bay looked as dark as a bruised crow. The fog was beginning to drift in over near the piers.
By 9 o'clock, you couldn't see a thing. You felt like a guy trying to shave in a bathroom full of steam. I was about 30 feet from the end of the pier when a small boat pulled in and let somebody out. I was sure it was my boy, so I moved behind a shed and waited. The boat pulled away, and the guy started down the dock. I waited until he moved past me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You ought to be glad. How's the rock?
Huh? You lonely, mister?
What do you care?
If you are, buy a beer and talk to the bartender. I'm busy.
All right, you're tough, Feldman. Let's go now.
You got dates for us?
You're going to see Father Lahey. Come on.
Oh, you doubling for Gabriel? Leave me alone, mister. I don't want to go.
Now, look, Junior, if we draw straws, you're going to get the short one.
Oh, that's supposed to be a gun in your pocket?
Well, you get a chance to find out.
That's what I'm going to do, because I have one, too. If it starts to hurt your stomach, back down. Now, where's yours, Mr. Timid? It's a bad night for bluffing, so goodbye.
Yeah, come here.
Go easy, fella. It's a big one.
Well, you can let go easy then. Come on, drop it. Drop it in the water. Let go. Now, you want to start again?
No. All right, I'll see you, man, Lahey. I got to make a stop first.
Make it after.
It'll take 5 minutes. Look, mister, if you want to do it the easy way, let me make the stop. You go with me.
All right, 5 minutes, and then you see Father Lahey.
Suit yourself. I doubt if I'll make heaven, but if you want to run interference, it's all right with me. If you need the credits, you need the credits.
Joe Feldman wasn't very friendly. He sat over in the corner of the cab, and he didn't say a thing. He just kept looking at me and waiting, like a guy feeding arsenic to a rich ant. A few minutes later, the cab pulled up in front of a hotel on Geary Street, and we walked in. One look at that lobby, and you got the idea. The place was about as cozy as an abandoned mine shaft. Over by the wall, there was an old mohair couch, and the legs on it were so warped pretty soon it was going to look like period furniture. There were a few chairs, and over by the stairs, a faded calendar of a girl in tights holding a jar of mayonnaise and winking, whatever that meant. And there was a broken clock over the desk. But you knew it was all right, because nobody there cared about keeping track of time. It was something you got rid of in a hurry, like a bent quarter. When we went up to the second floor, we walked down a long hall that smelled like an anteroom to a sewer. When Feldman knocked on the door, she opened it right away. The room was full of taboo. She stood leaning there for a minute, the sort of a girl who moves when she stands still. She had blonde hair. She was kind of pretty, except you could see somebody had used her badly, like a dictionary in a stupid family. Feldman seemed to know her.
Hello, Ann.
Well, the harvest hands arrive all at once.
Yeah.
It's good for the crops, but tough on a woman. Come in. Who's your friend?
A missionary, I guess. He grabbed me down by the docks.
Does he talk or just stand there looking healthy?
He growls a little.
Do you really growl?
Come on, hurry up, lady. Your friend's got a date.
I'll bet you bite instead. Don't worry about him. He can go over in a corner and play fifth wheel.
Now, look, he's got 5 minutes. Use them quick.
Yes?
I came up with a message, Ann. The time's been changed. Stay around till 10 o'clock.
All right.
That all?
Yeah, that's all. You want the other 4 minutes?
Let's go.
All right. Open the door.
Yeah.
You didn't open it fast enough.
When Feldman hit me, I wobbled for a minute and went down like the price of winter wheat. If Father Lahey had any loose prayers lying around, now was the time to crate them up and ship them over, because I wasn't going to stay awake long enough to test the varnish. I rolled on the floor a couple of times, and then I took a rain check on the next couple of hours. When I woke up, it was like buying a new Nash and then finding out you can't drive. Joe Feldman was lying next to me with his throat cut like a pound of rib roast. His head was over to one side, and his body was twisted over the other way as if he couldn't make up his mind which direction to die in. I got up and rolled him on his back. He was grinning like a Pullman porter at the end of the line, and his mouth was half open as if he expected you to drop in a suggestion on your way by. I noticed right then how thin and small he was, about as fat as a shadow and tall enough to scrape his head on a lampshade. Well, there wasn't anything I could do but wish him luck. So I called the check stand at the ferry building and had them page Father Lahey. About 2 minutes later, he answered. This is Novak, Father.
Yes?
Call in the outfield. Your boy's dead.
I see. What happened?
Somebody didn't like him lots. I wasn't around for the main event.
Where are you, on the pier?
No, I'm in some cave up on Geary Street. He wanted to come by here first. Father, who's Ann?
I don't know.
Has Feldman got a girlfriend?
He's got 2 sisters, I think. One of them's named Ann.
A tall blonde with lots of speed?
That's your definition, but it'll probably do.
She was around for a while, in case you ever want to check.
What are you going to do?
Get on the back stairs and pretend I never heard of Joe Feldman.
I'm sorry, Mr. Novak. I'm sorry it worked out that way.
So am I, Father. If you liked him, I'm sorry. He may have been a nice little guy.
Huh?
Oh, I could do without him, but if you like it, I'll say he was a good little guy.
How little?
I don't know. We could start a picket fence with him. Why?
Because you've got the wrong man, Mr. Novak.
Huh?
If he's under 6 feet, you've got the wrong man. Whoever you've got up there isn't Joe Feldman.
Well, he's happy about it now, Father.
Whoever he is, I'm sorry.
It's the percentage.
Why the percentage? If it isn't Joe Feldman, why?
That's the waterfront, Father. If your name's Joe Nobody, you still can't do better than 8 to 5. At least Joe Feldman was smart. If you're going to get your throat cut, it's a good time to send in a substitute. As soon as Father Lahey hung up, I knew hanging around that hotel was going to be a waste of time, like sending mash notes to a bearded lady. If I couldn't prove the guy was alive, they were going to charge extra down at the desk. And if Hellman down at Homicide ever found out I brought the guy up here, I'd have about as much chance as a bottle of scotch at a cocktail party. So I picked up my hat and started for the door. I looked at him once more, but he wasn't going to say goodbye, so I started out.
Boo.
Oh. Hello, Hellman.
Expecting me, Novak?
No, I'd have rolled him first.
Yeah. Invite me in.
Crash the party, Hellman. You'll be more at home.
All right. He sure looks lazy. Who is he?
He's supposed to be Joe Feldman.
But Feldman let him do the hard work. They must be good friends.
You better check. I don't know the guy.
Yeah, help me roll him over.
There. Here's his wallet.
You let me have it.
You're going to break your fingernails.
Give it here.
All right.
Yeah. No money in here.
You going to drop the case?
Here's his card, Mike Greeley. Oh. Didn't he like you either?
You're wearing out the rug, Hellman. I don't know the guy.
You brought him up? I checked at the desk.
Well, check on who left then. I brought him up here on a phony lead.
Why?
Because I was hired to tow him around. He liked the room, so we dropped by.
And he cut himself shaving?
I wasn't around. There was a girl here for the handshakes.
Oh. What kind of girl?
I don't know, Hellman. How many kinds are there? Her name was Ann. She had a fast pulse. That's all I know.
You must know more than that. If you don't, you'll never get a lawyer.
I won't need one.
You'll save money at least, because you got a real hole this time, Novak. We get a phone tip and find you in the murder room.
You got half a story, Hellman.
I know, but I'll get the other half. Until then, you're under technical arrest. It's practically the real thing.
You got a technical head, Hellman. I wouldn't tip myself off.
Somebody else would. Walk around, Novak, and tire yourself out. Because you'll wind up sitting down. In the meantime, I'll have you tailed.
Your men couldn't follow a moose through a revolving door. Now, look, Hellman, I'm going to double back. This guy's a phony lead. I was supposed to meet a guy named Joe Feldman, but he never showed up.
He didn't?
No.
I got a dead copper to prove he did. Your boy, Joe Feldman, killed a sergeant named Grubb at the Gold Rush Club a half hour ago. You better start that walk, Novak. Well, there are 2 kind of raps you can't ever beat. Cheating a woman with kids and killing a copper. So I knew Joe Feldman could put in for reservations right away. And I knew Hellman would stay with him like a February cold. He'd stay with the whole thing, and I'd have a real tough time explaining. I couldn't explain it to myself. What about the message up in that room? Why did the little guy tell Ann to stay until 10 o'clock? Why did he get off at Pier 19 instead of Joe Feldman? Once he got there, what was Feldman doing at the Gold Rush Club, and why did they spot him so fast? Well, it pointed to one thing, a police tip-off, but that's as far as I could go. On the way down, I stopped at the desk, and I asked the clerk to see the register. He pushed it over toward me. It was a dirty brown thing that looked like an old tortilla somebody had left behind. It didn't do any good. The registration was a phony. Well, I had to do something in a hurry, so I looked up the only honest guy I know, an ex-doctor and a boozer by the name of Jocko Madigan. He's a good man, and he used to be a smart one, too. And still he started chasing a jigger of beer with a glass of whiskey. I finally found him in the Pied Piper room arguing with somebody about the words to Annie Laurie.
Ah, Patsy. A drink for Mr. Novak. Something cheap but impressive.
Oh, stop it, will you, Jocko? Are you going to be drunk all your life?
Yes, it's only a matter of willpower, Patsy. I'm probably the only man in the world who intends to carry a hangover into eternity.
Well, stop long enough to give me a hand, will you? I'm in trouble.
Of course you're in trouble. You'll always be in trouble because you can't recognize it, Patsy.
You're fuzzy, Jocko.
You have the social outlook of a bull with a hot foot, and there's no hope for you because if from time to time a moral feeling does sweep over you, you mistake it for influenza and go to bed.
All right.
Oh, you try hard enough. You go through the motions, Patsy, but you never get anywhere. You go stumbling through life doing a tight wire act on a rubber band. You're always in the middle.
Will you listen to me?
It's because there's no variety in your life. You won't allow it. You're a broken-down banjo, not a very good instrument to begin with. And to make matters worse, you allow everybody to come along and pluck the same string.
All right. Are you all through now, Jocko?
Yes, you sound angry. I think you have a bad disposition, too. What kind of trouble?
Well, I tried to help some guy out of prison tonight.
You got drunk and thought you were the parole board?
No, I did it for a good guy, a priest named Lahey.
Yes?
The guy was already out, and Father Lahey was trying to hurt him back without getting shot, but this guy Feldman didn't want to play.
Another drink will clear this up for me.
I picked up the wrong guy. I took him to a Geary Street hotel. I napped a while, and they cut him up like a piece of parsley.
Sounds like a gruesome hotel.
The dead guy's name is Mike Greeley. I don't even know who he is.
Well, this is no time to start building a friendship anyway. Who is in the room?
Some girl. She may be Feldman's sister.
Would she kill a man?
If she did, he'd be crushed to death. No, I'm sure somebody else came in that room.
You better talk to Feldman.
Well, he's a hard man to reach. A sergeant almost made it tonight. Feldman shot his way out of the Gold Rush Club.
That's one way to get out of a nightclub.
Well, Hellman steamed up, so you got to help me, Jocko.
You'd better look up Father Lahey. You'll probably be electrocuted, and if you are, he may have some drag.
I want you to go down to the Chronicle morgue and pull the clips on Joe Feldman, will you? Get everything you can, and then hit the horse parlors. Find out what they know about him, huh?
Maybe he's a heavy drinker. I'll check the bars.
Jocko, wake up and get on there. If I don't pace Hellman on this thing, I'll be a dead pigeon. What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. You might start cooing. Good night, lover.
Well, as soon as I left Jocko, I went down to the Gold Rush Club on O'Farrell Street. It was a little nightclub where they charge 80 cents for a drink of whiskey that'd kill a redwood. The floor show was just as bad, and the headliner was an Oriental dancer whose only talent was a zipper. I sat at the bar, and I tried to pry some talk loose, but they liked the boss. I finally got a hold of a fat waitress who should have been wearing a harness instead of slacks. She told me a little. The owner was a guy named Charlie Giffen. He used to make book with Joe Feldman. She told me that Joe's sister worked at the Gold Rush Club for a while, but she got sick a few months ago and quit. I asked the girl if tonight's shooting was a police plant. She didn't know, but she said that Feldman had been in to see Giffen tonight, and on his way out he ran into trouble. I gave her $5, and she looked hurt as if somebody had given her a plow for Christmas. She showed me where Giffen's office was, and I walked back there. Giffen wasn't there, but the taboo was.
Do you have the right door, Mr. Novak?
You seem to be in all of them.
Do you mind if I lean in the doorway?
No, but I'll bet you need shoulder pads by this time. Where's Charlie Giffen?
Why?
I want to ask him about Joe Feldman.
Ask me. I'm his sister.
I'll ask you about Mike Greeley. Who killed him?
I don't know. Is he dead?
Yeah, he couldn't stand the bleeding.
He was all right when I left.
What were you doing up there?
Waiting for Joe. My sister and I were going to meet him up there. Relax, Mr. Novak. Relax for me.
No, when people relax for you, they do it on the floor. I was out long enough for homicide to catch up. They want me for Mike Greeley, but I'm going to send them you or Joe.
You're forgetting my sister Norma.
Should I?
For most things, yes. But she was up in that room tonight after me.
I'll ask her.
Ask her about the money, too.
Well, you're out in front of me on that.
You can see me better that way. Joe had a lot of money on him tonight. With the police out, he wouldn't carry it with him. By now the money's gone, so's Norma.
Oh.
Do you know where it is?
No.
Well, you growl and you bite and you lie. You must have a full day. Sit down, relax.
I want to see Giffen.
He won't be back tonight. Now lean back. That's it, Patsy.
You really want that money?
I can split a motive.
Can you split it 90-10? If you can't, you better get your breath back.
I won't need it. I don't want to talk anymore. Come here and make me stop. Over close.
If I get any closer, I'll be on the other side of you.
Yes. Patsy, You ought to get time and a half, darling.
Hello, Ann. Thought you were coming in to curl up with a good book.
Mr. Novak came by full of questions. This is Charlie Giffen, Patsy.
I got some questions for you, too, Giffen.
Well, ask him down the bore of this gun. Over by the desk, Novak.
Did you lose that knife, Giffen?
By the desk. That's it. Where's the money, Novak?
I gave her the last report.
Where's the money? Joe gave it to somebody?
Try the Red Cross, mister.
You got a tender face, Novak. Now get out of this club before I slap on a cover charge.
Oh, I was getting sick of tonight. In 3 hours, I'd seen more service than a mixmaster in a cooking school. When I left the Gold Rush Club, I dropped by headquarters. Hellman had nothing to show but his badge. They had a dragnet around the city for Joe Feldman, and they'd lined up the record on the dead guy in the hotel. He'd been a friend of Joe's before his trip to Alcatraz. There wasn't much I could do. If Homicide couldn't find Joe, I couldn't find him. So I looked up Norma Feldman in the phone book. She had an apartment out on the avenues, but when I called, there was no answer, so I tagged by my apartment to see if Jocko had left a message. When I opened the door, Norma was there, and she had a gun to keep her company.
Come in, Mr. Novak.
Yeah.
I came up here to kill you.
Well, if you're Norma, the rest of the family's ahead of you.
What's happened to my brother?
I don't know.
Please, what's happened to him, Mr. Novak?
Well, if he killed a cop, he's hiding out.
I know he didn't mean to do that, Mr. Novak. Joe's not that way. Somebody told the police he was going to be there. That's why I came up here to see you.
Oh, put down the gun, huh? You can't shoot through the tears.
Mr. Novak, if you know where he is, tell me. Make him give himself up. Make him stop hiding like a small, frightened animal.
He looked big to that copper.
Please. Please find him.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Jocko.
Yeah.
You sound ruffled.
Joe Feldman's sister just walked in to kill me.
Don't argue. It's the best offer you've had.
What'd you find out?
Feldman has two sisters.
I know. They both go to pieces.
The Gold Rush Club is owned by Charlie Giffen. He owed Joe Feldman $2,000, and the horse people say Joe collected it tonight.
Well, that fits in, Jocko. Everybody in town's after that dough.
They'll have to look some more. I'm out on Arguello Boulevard. Homicide just fished Joe Feldman out of the gutter.
If Homicide finished second, he was a lucky guy. He didn't have the dough on him?
No.
Well, he stashed it somewhere.
Then he left it with a woman.
Yeah?
Because he's got a woman's compact in his pocket. You better hit the sister's place.
How do we know he got it there?
A woman's compact? If he didn't get it there, Alcatraz is getting too social.
Well, the minute Jocko hung up, things began to fall into place. But I knew the last piece was going to pinch somebody hard. If the Feldman blood was going to turn bad, Father Lahey was a good man to send in, so I called him. He was out, but I left word for him to get out to Norma Feldman's apartment. Norma and I left, and on the way, we picked up Hellman. When we got out to her place and started up the stairs, we could hear people moving above. There was no point in trying to keep quiet, because Hellman was creeping up the stairs like a stallion with a broken leg. Yeah, if you got a bomb, touch it off, too, huh? Well, open it, Hellman.
Hello, Novak.
Did you find the dough, Giffen?
You mean my stolen dough? Yeah. Come on, Ann.
No, you and Ann better wait. This is Hellman from Homicide.
We're leaving. You better move, Novak.
Not until you settle a murder rap. Can you pay it off that fast?
I can do it on the way to the door.
Oh, wait a minute. Point the gun at Hellman. He's official.
I can tag you both, so move away, you too, Norma. Ann and I are leaving.
Look, Giffen, Homicide gobbles up nightclub big shots like you.
You're nothing to me, copper. Move away.
You got the hammer. Use it and come on through.
All right, I will, copper.
Yeah, you need a refill, Giffen.
That's right, darling. Hand him your gun.
Ann, you couldn't have done that. You couldn't have taken him out.
All right, so they fell out. You better take him for murder, Hellman.
You little bum. That leaves you all the money.
I can spend it, darling.
Well, you better do it fast, then.
Grab him, Hellman.
Yeah, I got it.
You can book him for both murders. My Greeley and my brother. I'll testify and I'll ride there in a cab on your dough, Giffen.
Yeah. Are you going to pose or take me, Hellman?
If you're anxious.
Sorry about you, Norma. You get nothing out of this, but that's better than I got. Goodbye, Ann. Lots of luck.
Thank you, darling.
You know what kind. I hope you rot. Come on, Hellman.
I'm
I'm ashamed of you, Ann.
Leave me alone, Norma.
I'm ashamed of you, Ann. What you did to Joe, I'm ashamed of.
Leave me alone, Norma. I'm sick, you know that. I didn't know how it was going to work out.
Poor Joe was trying to help you when you got greedy. He was trying to help you. That's the only reason he came out. You let this happen.
I told you I didn't know how it was going to end. I thought they'd get him and take him back again.
There's no good in you, Ann. They couldn't find good in you anywhere. You let that happen to Joe. You stood by and watched him walk into something like that.
All right, I stood by. What can we do about it now except weep, and that won't help him.
But hating you will. That'll help Joe a little. I'm here at least to hate you for the short time left.
Please, Norma.
Giffen told you to spend it fast. Well, you better spend it fast. Ask him at the hospital if that isn't so.
What do you mean?
Ask him out there what you've got. They told me. You ask him what you've got. Ask him what's tearing you to pieces. Ask them, they'll tell you. They'll tell you you've got cancer.
Norma, please.
They'll tell you cancer. Ask them, they'll tell you you're full of it. Now spend your money and see that it lasts as long as you do.
Goodbye, girls.
Hello, Mr. Novak.
Did you miss much, Father?
No.
Feldman luck is running kind of bad tonight.
It does for some people, I guess. All they get is unhappiness. They wear it the same way you'd wear a sports coat, only they never seem to get a new one. I'm sorry about tonight, Mr. Novak. I'm sorry it's not a smoother world.
Yeah. But if it were, you'd be out of a job, Father. See you later. If you get a bad first break, you never run the table. That's what happened to Joe Feldman. Charlie Giffen owed him dough and wouldn't pay up. But Joe didn't care until Norma showed up and told him how sick Ann was, so he decided to collect from Giffen and divide the dough between the girls. Father Lahey couldn't stop him. All he could do was try and make it work out. Joe was going to get the dough and meet the girls in that hotel room, but he changed his timetable and sent Mike Greeley up to tell the girls. Giffen showed up there and figured that Mike had tumbled to a double cross, so he killed him. Ann engineered the double cross, but she didn't mean to go that far. She wanted all the dough and tipped off Giffen. He was supposed to turn the dough over to her and then have the police pick up Joe, but Joe got there early. He took the dough away from Giffen and shot the copper on the way out. Giffen followed Joe and killed him out in Arguello, but the dough was gone. He finally tumbled to Norma's place, and that's how her apartment filled up so fast. Well, Hellman asked only one question. What did I get out of all this? Nothing. Father Lahey offered me $50, but I didn't want it. Jocko was with me, and he offered to give it to charity. I guess he did, because where Jocko spent it, the drinks aren't worth money.
Hot Novak For Hire was previously released by ABC, the American Broadcasting Company, for listeners in the United States, and rebroadcast for our men and women overseas. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
gentlemen, the makers of Fatima cigarettes and the entire cast and crew and technicians of Dragnet respectfully dedicate tonight's program to the memory of Barton Yarbrough, who created and portrayed the role of Sergeant Ben Romero.
The story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes. Best of all, king-size cigarettes brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. 2 convicts escaped from a nearby state penitentiary in the early morning. According to reports, they're heading for your city. They're both armed. They're both dangerous. Your job, get them. Fatima, America's first, largest-selling blended cigarette. Now, king size.
See the difference. Taste the difference. Smoke the difference. And in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Yes, you get all the advantages of extra length, plus Fatima quality, which no other king-size cigarette has.
Fatima quality that gives you extra mildness, a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Definitely the best quality in its class, but the same price as the cigarette you're now smoking.
So compare Fatima yourself today. When you see the difference, taste the difference, smoke the difference, you'll switch to Fatima. Because in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Ask your dealer for Fatima in the bright, sunny yellow pack.
Fatima, best of all king-size cigarettes.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Saturday, April 24th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Didion. My name's Freddie. It was 5 minutes past 8 a.m. when I got to room 27A, robbery detail.
Morning, Joe.
Hi, Crowley. How's it working out? Any more word on the escaped prisoner?
Nothing this morning, no. Captain likes to see you, Joe.
Okay. Ben check in yet?
Nope.
Getting a little late. Guess he was held up, huh?
Captain wants to see you right away. Some bad news, Joe.
Oh, what's the matter?
Maybe it'd be better if he told you.
Oh, all right.
Oh, morning, Joe.
Hi. Do you want to see me?
Yeah, come on in.
All right.
Sit down.
Yeah?
Got some bad news, Joe. Real bad.
What's the matter?
I know how much it means. I wish I didn't have to be the one to tell you.
Well, tell me what.
Sorry, Joe. It's about Ben. Something's happened.
Ben? Well, what do you mean?
We were notified about it early this morning. I thought about calling you. Figured it'd be better if I told you in person.
Well, what's the matter? Is Ben sick?
He's dead, Joe. Ben's dead early this morning.
What?
Yeah, sorry. Heart attack happened a little after 6 o'clock this morning.
No.
Got out of bed, started dressing to go to work, went downstairs, put a pot of coffee on, made some toast. Wife heard him fall. She went downstairs and found him. Already dead. Went fast.
Look, I don't get this. It couldn't be.
Sorry, Joe. Means a lot to all of us.
Yeah, well, I still don't get it. Ben didn't have any trouble with his heart. He never mentioned anything about it.
Well, maybe that was the trouble. It was his heart, all right. When his wife found him, she called the doctor and the fire department rescue squad. They worked over him for an hour. No use. And his wife called me. Enough to tear your heart out.
I can't believe it. What'd she say?
Well, she didn't break up. Too shocked to realize it, I guess. Sounded apologetic. Said, "I'm sorry, Captain. This is Mrs. Romero. Ben died this morning. I thought you ought to know. Ben's dead."
Oh, that's terrible. It's a lousy shame.
Kept saying the same thing over again. I'm sorry. Ben's dead. I thought you ought to know. Ben's dead.
Yeah.
Joe Whitehead and I went out there right away, tried to talk to her. Wasn't much use.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You were with him a long time?
Yeah. 11 years. The day I came on the job, they assigned me as his partner. You know, this is a tough one. It's hard to believe.
Tougher on his wife?
If it's all right with you, I'd like to go see her.
All right. I wish I could give you the day off, Joe. I know what it means to you. The escaped convicts thing, I just can't spare you.
Yeah, that's all right. I just soon work. I figure I ought to talk to Amy, though. Might help to take the edge off it for her, maybe.
Sure. Go ahead.
Joe? Yeah.
I know what it is. I've been on the job 19 years. Lost 2 partners. Good cops. One of them was killed in the line of duty. The other one worked at his job until he dropped. It's the same thing, Joe.
Yeah.
In my book, they both rate medals.
I left the office and went down in the elevator alone. I got in the car and I started over for Ben's place. I thought about what I was going to say to his wife. I thought about his little boy. I thought about Ben. 11 years I'd been working as a cop. And all of a sudden it wasn't the same anymore. I thought about the first day I met Ben. I was a rookie. I remembered what he taught me about being a cop. I thought about how much I owed him. I thought about the thousands of cops just like him all over the country. The ones that came before us, the ones that'll take our place. I thought about their lives and their homes and their families, what they meant, what their jobs meant. I thought about Ben. 11 years. Stakeouts, the early morning watch, interrogations, office duty. You could cover it in volumes or you could write it on the back of an envelope. He was a good cop and he was a good friend. There wasn't much else to say. It was a big loss. I stayed at Ben's house for about an hour talking to his wife. Joe Whitehead from the medical detail was there. All things considered, she seemed to be taking it fairly well. I told her I'd drop around later in the day, and then I checked back in at the office for work. Temporarily, Sergeant Ed Jacobs was assigned to work with me. The big problem at the moment was a pair of escaped convicts. Jacobs and I drove out to run down on a possible lead. 11:05 a.m., we got to the address listed, the Cathedral of St. Augustine. We checked in at the rectory, and then we went around to the church. Go ahead.
Okay.
Beautiful church, isn't it? Yeah, it's a nice choir, isn't it?
Wonder if they're holding services.
No, choir's probably just practicing. You see the priest around anywhere in?
Oh, yeah, there's someone over by the side altar there. Looks like the padre.
Yeah, it must be.
Easter hymns. Sure pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, they sure are.
It really takes me back. You'd never believe it, Joe.
What's that?
I used to be a boy tenor.
Excuse me, please.
Yes?
Are you Father Newman?
Yes, that's right. Can I help you?
Police officers, Father.
I see.
This is my partner, Sergeant Jacobs. My name's Freddie.
No problem. Housekeeper over at the rectory told us we could find you here. I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes if you got the time, Father.
Let's see. I have confessions starting at 3 o'clock. Leaves me about 10 minutes. What was it about, Sergeant?
Well, we're inquiring about a Stanley Blair, Father. We understand that you knew him fairly well.
Oh, yes, I do. Matter of fact, I read about him in the paper this morning. The trouble he's in. Is that what you wanted to talk about?
Yes, sir, that's right. We're making a check of all his known friends, his relatives.
Very unfortunate, isn't it? Did the newspapers have the story correct?
Yes, sir, I'm afraid so. Yeah, I wonder if we could step outside, Father. We could talk out there without disturbing anyone in church.
Oh, surely, Sergeant. This way, please.
Thank you.
Certainly a tragedy. I mean, happening at Easter time. I'll remember the boy in my mass tomorrow. Lord knows he can use some prayers.
Yes, sir, I guess he can.
Here we are. Bench there, if you care to sit down.
No, sir, that's all right.
The newspapers weren't too specific. How did he manage to escape the way he did? I always thought state penitentiaries were well guarded.
Oh, apparently Blair was one of the trusted prisoners. It's a minimum security prison to begin with, Father.
I see. I suppose Blair and the man he escaped with thought about it a good deal. According to the paper, it was well planned. When did they get away, last night?
Oh, it was this morning. Prison officials figure about 2 a.m. They slugged the guard and went over the wall. Somehow the two of them got hold of a gun, held up a motorist on the highway and stole his car. That's the last report they had.
Terrible. Do the police consider them dangerous?
Well, they're armed, Father. Both of them were doing time for robbery. They've both used guns before. How about possible contacts he might have out of town, Father? Can you help us there at all?
I'm afraid not, Sergeant. I think Stan knew some people in San Francisco. I don't know their names or addresses, though. I haven't any idea.
And there's no special person or place that you know of that he'd be likely to go if he heads back for Los Angeles?
No, none I can think of. You imagine he'd be likely to come back here?
We're not sure. Last report we had seemed to indicate Blair and his partner were heading this way. Prison's only about 40 miles away. Could be there in the city now.
I don't understand. I mean, with all the police looking for them, why would they come back here?
They probably figure they can find cover a lot easier than they could in some of the small towns.
Sergeant.
Yeah, Father.
Do you think they'll have trouble taking Stan? I mean, can they take him alive?
Well, we'll try our best to make it that way. It's like I told you, Father. He's got a gun. If he's cornered, there's a good chance he might try to shoot his way out.
It gets discouraging sometimes. I try to help them. I pray for them. Young thieves. I only hope they're all as lucky as he was.
How's that, sir?
The grotto back there in the garden. Figure of a man in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a statue of Dismas. One of the luckiest men who ever lived. I like to tell fellas like Stan about him.
I don't think I understand, Father.
You know the story of the crucifixion, the two men who were crucified with Christ. They were both thieves. A few minutes before he died, one of the thieves turned to Christ on the cross, confessed his crimes, asked our Lord to remember him. Christ told him, "This day you'll be with me in paradise." The man's name was Dismas. We like to call him the good thief.
Oh, yeah.
I told Stan about it right here in this courtyard. He should have remembered it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I told him you never give up hope. You can make the grade in the last 5 minutes of your life. Stan ought to know better. You ought to remember.
Sir?
The good thief. He made it with a prayer, not with a gun in his hand.
Before we left Father Newman, we gave him our card, and he gave us a list of 8 names and addresses, people in the neighborhood who'd known the escaped convict, Stanley Blair, before he was sentenced to the state penitentiary to serve time on his robbery conviction. 3:15 p.m. We met with Sergeants Max Herman and J.E. Crowley from robbery detail. We divided the list of names in half, and we began checking them out. Ed and I didn't have much luck on our end. Most of the people we talked to told us that they knew Stanley Blair, but none of them had seen, heard from him, or knew anything about his activities or his family since Blair had gone to prison 2.5 years before. Stakeouts were set up at 2 of the hottest places. 5:20 p.m. Ed and I went back to the office. Crowley was waiting for us.
No luck on our end either. Same thing. Last they heard of him was when he was sent up.
I guess that finishes that. Any late reports at all?
Yeah, his teletype from the sheriff's office. It was waiting here when Max and I got back. Guess their hunch was right. Looks like they headed this way.
Well, how do you mean? Somebody spot him?
Just this side of West Covina. Held up a grocery store, slugged the owner. Got $23.40. Not going to take him far.
Descriptions match out?
Yeah, perfectly. Suspects believed to be 2 prisoners who escaped this day from the California Institution for Men Chino. Stanley R. Blair, Wesley A. Russell. There's something else.
Yeah?
The grocery store they knocked over, they picked up another gun, the owner's. Description and serial numbers on it here. Had 20 rounds of ammunition, too. Supplementary APB's already out on it.
How about a car? They switch over?
They have. We don't know about it. Apparently they're still using the Buick coupe they took from that motorist this morning. No reports on it, though.
It's a queer one. You'd think somebody'd spot it. They got the highway patrol working this?
Highway patrol, sheriff's office, our department, everybody you can name. By the way, you had R&I pull their mugshots, didn't you?
Yeah, both of them, Blair and Russell. They're running off the duplicates now. 500 of them should be about ready.
Pretty good shots?
Stand-up mugs, fairly recent. They were made the last time we had the 2 of them through here.
How about that other list of their friends and relatives we pulled from their packages? Young and McCaleb were checking them out, weren't they?
Probably still are. No word from them yet. How do you size it to them, Joe, Blair and Russell?
I don't know. It's a tough combination. Russell's older. He's got the experience. Blair's younger. He's got the nerve. Any way you figure it, it's not going to be easy.
Guns and the ammunition they grabbed, they ain't going to help much either.
I guess the roadblocks are up, huh? Highway Patrol take care of that?
Yeah, all set working now. All our special details have been alerted. Airports, bus depots, train terminals, just about everything covered. Robbery crawler. Yeah, Mike, how is it? You'll stay on it, huh? Right. See you later. But Caleb, he and Young are still checking on friends of Russell, some of the places he hung out.
Any luck?
Nothing yet. Either one of you see the captain on the way in?
No, said he'd be over at the sheriff's office, didn't he?
Hot shot.
I'll get it. Yeah.
What is it?
Clothing store out on North Fig, 211 and Slugging. They're sure moving fast.
Same?
You got it, Blair and Russell. 5:55 p.m. A supplementary broadcast and an all-points bulletin were gotten out immediately on the two escaped convicts. While Crowley and Herman stood by at the office, Ed Jacobs and I picked up duplicate mug shots of the suspects and drove out to the scene of the robbery, a men's clothing store near the intersection of North Figueroa and Merced. We showed a group of mug shots to the victim and two witnesses, and they definitely identified Blair and Russell as the hold-up men. The robbery had netted them less than $20. We relayed all the information we got back to communications immediately, and another supplementary broadcast was gotten out on the two fugitives. An hour later, at 7:05 p.m., Blair and Russell hit again, this time at a sporting goods store in the San Fernando Valley. It netted them $94, a .30-30 hunting rifle, and 200 rounds of ammunition. According to the broadcast, they were last seen heading north through the valley in the Buick Coupe, the original escape car. 7:38 p.m., Ed Jacobs and I got a call to return to our station. We went back to the city hall.
Got a hunch, Joe. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Guns and ammunition. If they want to make a stand, they're all ready for it.
Can't see how they can go too far in that hot car. Roadblocks set up. Somebody's bound to stop them.
Well, they're doing all right so far.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
Friday, Jacobs?
Jack, Captain, want us in here?
Not for long. Keep your coats on. The rest of the men have already left.
What's the latest?
This. Communication from the Ventura Sheriff's Office. Blair and Russell were spotted just across the county line. Sheriff figures they got them boxed in.
How close?
A lot of territory, 20 square mile circle. They say they got Blair and Russell tied down inside, and they're on foot. We're sending up men to help out. You're two of them.
20 square miles is going to take a lot of men.
Well, if we need more, we'll get them. It's no easy touch. They're desperate. You heard the latest?
No, what's that?
Last place they hit in the valley, they served notice they're not going to be taken alive, either one of them.
That's good sales talk. What do they got to back it up?
3 guns and a load of ammunition. If we want to take them alive, they swear it'll cost us 10 men. They'll kill 5 cops apiece. You any ideas?
Yeah. Let's make liars out of them.
You are listening to Dragnet. Authentic stories of your police force in action.
Fatima, America's first, largest-selling blended cigarette. Now king size.
See the difference. Taste the difference. Smoke the difference. And in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Yes, you get all the advantages of extra length, plus Fatima quality, which no other king-size cigarette has.
You see, Fatima contains the finest domestic and Turkish tobaccos, superbly blended.
And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Fatima, definitely the best quality in its class, but the same price as the cigarette you're now smoking.
No wonder more smokers now insist on king-size Fatima than ever before.
Friends, try Fatima. Buy several packs. Compare them over the last weekend of the old year. We're convinced you'll start the new year with Fatima. Yes, when you see the difference, taste the difference, smoke the difference, you'll switch to Fatima. Because in Fatima, the difference is quality. Buy Fatima. Best of all, king-size cigarettes.
Saturday, April 24th, 9 p.m. Along with Captain Didion and a dozen other men from robbery detail, Ed Jacobs and I left the office and headed north up through the San Fernando Valley. The area where the 2 escaped convicts were reportedly surrounded was just on the outskirts of Ventura County line.
On the way out, we stopped for a minute and I phoned Ben's house. His wife had been given a sedative and she was resting. Her folks were with her. 10:15 p.m. We arrived at the meeting point on the edge of the blockaded area from which the search was being directed. Communication facilities had been set up along with a field kitchen to feed the men taking part in the hunt. There were over 500 of them. From our office, the L.A. Sheriff's Department, the State Highway Patrol, the Ventura Sheriff's Department, and a couple of dozen private citizens who lived in the area. Together with Max Herman and Crowley, Ed Jacobs and I took up our position in the line of men that stretched north and east, then north again, circling the entire area. 20 square miles of it. The line drew slowly inward. 12 midnight. 1 a.m. No sign of the suspects. We stayed at it.
You get no idea of the size of these hayfields till you start hiking them.
Yeah. Throw the light over there, will you, Ed? Irrigation ditch there.
Right there? That it?
Yeah. That's okay. It's a long hike. I'd sure like to see some of that hot coffee pretty soon.
Yeah, same here. Nice setup they got, huh? That field kitchen?
Yeah.
Hey, Joe! Joe Freddie!
Yeah, Crowley?
You got the riot gun, haven't you?
Yeah, we got it.
You want to send up another flare? Towards the clump of trees. Over this way. Light it up good, huh?
Okay, Crowley.
About a 45-degree angle, Joe. That ought to do it, huh?
Yeah, okay.
That ought to do it. Really lights it up, doesn't it?
Well, you got any extra magnesium shells there, Ed?
Yeah. Let me get one right here. Here you are.
Thanks. There we go.
Friday, that you?
Yeah, Captain, over here.
No use beating the brush here anymore. We're moving up 3 miles north.
How come?
Blair and Russell, they hit again, kidnapped an old couple from a farmhouse.
They still on foot?
Yeah, as far as we know, they're hemmed in a 2 square mile area. They may try to break out, use the old couple for a shield.
Well, where's that leave us?
I don't know.
You think they'd harm the old couple?
They kidnapped them. They're desperate. You figure it.
1:45 a.m. All of the men in the search party were shifted north to the area where the 2 escaped convicts and their kidnapped victims were last seen. 2 officers were sent to each farmhouse in the immediate neighborhood to make sure that the suspects and their victims were not hid out or that they were being held as hostages. The officers were ordered to remain at the homes in the event that Blair and Russell might try to find cover. The searching party moved in slowly over the affected area. We knew for certain the suspects were still somewhere inside. 2:15 a.m. Still no sign of them. The lines drew in closer. 2:30 a.m.
Can't be much longer, that's sure.
Yeah, well, I can't understand it. We should have jumped them by now.
It's only a few hundred feet to go. There's the other line closing in toward us. Wonder if they could have slipped through.
Beats me, Ed. Who's that coming? Can you see?
Yeah, looks like Crowley. Yeah, that's him.
Joe? Ed?
Yeah.
Hiya.
Over here. You got any word?
They found the old couple tied up in an irrigation ditch half a mile south of here.
They all right?
Yeah, they're okay. The old lady's forehead, bad head wound. She was slugged. She and her husband have been taken to the hospital.
How about Blair and Russell?
No word. Just heard the captain ask for the car with a loudspeaker. He's over there now with Sheriff Durley.
Well, they couldn't have gotten through the lines. They got to be around here somewhere.
Doesn't figure we combed every foot of this neighborhood.
Attention, all officers. Attention, all officers. This is Captain Didion. Return to your posts immediately. The search has been canceled. The search has been canceled.
How about that?
I don't know. Come on, let's find out.
There he is, just getting out of the car. Captain?
Yeah.
What's the matter? Are we giving it up?
No, maybe we've been going at it backwards. We've been trying all night to jump them. Got a new idea.
Yeah?
Maybe we can make them jump us.
2:48 a.m. Captain Didion and Sheriff Durley ordered the men to return to the sheriff's office. With the exception of 2 deputy sheriffs, Captain Didion, Sheriff Durley, and Ed Jacobs and myself, the rest of the searching party vacated the area. The plan was to give the general impression that the search had been called off in the hope that it might bring the suspects out in the open. Because of the darkness and the early morning fog settling over the terrain, we knew that the odds were all against us. Captain Didion and Sheriff Durley decided instead to try and lure Blair and Russell from wherever they were hiding out. Each of the small farmhouses in the immediate neighborhood, 8 of them in all, were already under surveillance. Each of the occupants were requested to park their cars in a conspicuous place outside their homes with the distributor heads removed. They were asked to turn all the lights off in their houses. In the event they heard anyone trying to start their cars, they were to remain indoors. Ed Jacobs and I were assigned to cover 2 of the houses. The other men covered the rest of them. The 2 houses that Ed and I were assigned to cover were separated by about 500 yards. We staked out in between the 2 of them. We waited. 4 a.m., 4:30.
Sure cold, huh?
Yeah.
Fog goes right through you. You're going to be getting light pretty soon. Now, Joe, I just remembered.
Yeah, what's that?
Easter morning. Wonder how long this is going to go. I promised to hide Easter eggs for the kids today.
Yeah, if it's going to break, it has to break soon. Be daylight in a half hour or so, and they won't have a chance then. Wait a minute.
Farmhouse down on the left?
Yeah, sounds like it. Come on.
Can you see the car?
Wait a minute. Yeah, you cover the passenger side. I'll come up on the driver's side and watch it.
Joe, hustle. They're getting out of the car.
All right, hold it up. Police officers.
Watch it, Joe.
Blair, Russell, you haven't got a chance. Throw down the gun. All right, Ed, let's give it back.
All right, don't shoot.
Throw out the guns. Come toward us with your hands open.
Don't shoot, West. Do what they say. Come on out. Don't shoot, West.
All right, come on. Keep coming. That's far enough.
All right, cover him, Ed. I'll shake him down.
Yeah. No break here. Look out, Joe. All right.
You want to throw the cuffs on him?
Yeah, right.
I'll go get the car. You want to keep him covered, Ben? Excuse me, Ed. Ed, I mean.
It's all right. Too bad he wasn't here tonight.
How can you tell for sure?
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 16th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 88, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
And now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, we all hope that you enjoyed listening to Dragnet in 1951. We all like to think that you'll be with us during the new year. On our part, we hope to do 2 things. To bring you the kind of entertainment you want, and to introduce you to Fatima. Fatima, America's first largest-selling blended cigarette, now king-size. And believe me, it's the best of all king-size cigarettes. So next time, buy a pack of Fatimas. Compare them yourself. When you see the difference, taste the difference, and then smoke that difference, I'm convinced that you'll switch to Fatima. Because in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Stanley Blair and Wesley Russell were tried and convicted on 3 counts of first-degree robbery and 1 count of kidnapping. They received sentences as prescribed by law. First-degree robbery is punishable by imprisonment from 5 years to life. Kidnapping is punishable by imprisonment for not less than 1 nor more than 20 years. 1 count of escape is still pending. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Heard tonight were Barney Phillips and Vic Perrin. Script by Jim Moser. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Fatima Cigarettes. Best of all, king-size cigarettes has brought you Dragnet.
My name's Jeff Regan. I'm the Lion's Eye, his private eye. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, head of the International Detective Bureau. He doesn't care where the money comes from, just so long as it comes to him. He cashes in on trouble, and for him it pays off. For me, it's work.
Here's the kind of adventure you've been waiting to hear. Hard-boiled action and mystery with radio's most exciting private detective, Jeff Regan. So stand by for trouble and suspense in tonight's story of The Prodigal Daughter. And now, here's Jack Webb as Jeff Regan.
Well, this is the way it started. Melody was sitting in the outer office wearing her horn-rimmed glasses. That told me that the client was in with a lion. I smiled at her, and she blinked back, rolled her eyes toward the lion's den.
He's polite today.
Yeah, I know. On the phone, I was Jeffrey.
No.
Yeah?
Why do you stand for it?
I wish I knew, Melody. Buzz me in, will you?
Yes, Melody?
Mr. Regan's in now, Mr. Lyon.
Oh, well, send him in. Send him in. We're waiting.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Jeffrey. Jeffrey, my boy. My boy, come in, come in. There's someone here I want you to meet. Now then, Jeffrey. Mr. Carter, this is Mr. Jeffrey Regan, one of my very best men. Jeffrey, this is Mr. Daniel Carter.
How do you do?
How do you do, Mr. Regan? Mr. Lyon has assured me that you're a discreet young man.
Well, I
full
always...
of discreetness, Mr. Carter. International Detective Bureau is ethically bound to employ sympathetic, understanding personnel, as well as alert, productive operators.
I hope that's true, Mr. Lyon. In my publishing business, I never had the occasion to settle my trust on any one person.
Very delicate situation, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Mr. Carter. Everything said in this room is in the strictest confidence.
Well, I want you to know that it wasn't easy for me to come here. It's admitting defeat in a way. Patrice is my daughter. 5 years ago, she walked out. Oh, I can understand in a way. When her mother died, I started sending her away to schools. I was no companion for her.
Well, have you heard from her at all? Do you know where she is?
I've never heard from her, Mr. Regan, since she left. I don't know where she is. But I want her back, Mr. Regan.
I can see how you feel.
International is in business to make people happy.
Now, I've offered Mr. Lyon a $2,000 fee if he can find my daughter.
$2,000. That figures.
Now, you can trust International to find your daughter and bring her back.
Well, then I guess that's all, Mr. Regan. I'll go now. You'll let me know as soon as you find anything?
Of course, of course.
Then good day, gentlemen.
Trust International, Mr. Carter. Good day. Here's your ticket. You leave on the Sunset Limited at 1:45 today.
I do?
You're going to New Orleans to pick up that dame and bring her back. She was 19 when she left home, and any dame who's 19 has a boyfriend next door. I found out that much in 2 phone calls. The boyfriend hasn't heard from her in over a year. But that means she's got another boyfriend down there. Here's the New Orleans address.
You knew all this?
Here's a picture of her. She's just been staying away from the old man. This is going to be a nice piece of change. $2,000 for bringing her back, plus expenses.
How do you know she'll come back with me? She walked out all alone. That means she wants to be all alone.
Maybe we could make another 1,000 if some nosy newspaper guy just happens to get tipped and wants money to keep quiet.
You're crawling with ethics, aren't you?
Melody will give you some travel checks.
Sympathetic, understanding.
Better pack some things before you miss your train.
Just in business to make people happy.
I want to be happy, too. Beat it. Call me if...
Cotton boy, there's just one thing I'll say right now. They serve the most delicious oysters, and Charlie had to go racing?
2 days later in New Orleans at the Roosevelt Hotel, home of the original Ramus Gin Fizz, I figured it would take a lot of fizz to pull away that southern heat, but everybody in the lobby seemed cool enough in linens, tropicals, and seersuckers, except me and a big perspiring man leaning against a CNS ticket counter. He smiled when he saw me and came across the lobby holding out his hand.
Well, I'm really glad to see you. We thought you'd never get here. Nice trip?
It was all right.
See, the rest of the boys are headquartered in E10. They're mighty anxious to meet you.
They are?
Mighty anxious. Delta cotton growers are going to make it or break it at this convention. Now, I want to...
He was talking real sincere and bent over to make a gesture. The accent was phony, but the bulge inside his double-breasted gabardine coat was real enough. It was a .38 automatic.
I say, I'll take you up right now.
Why don't I meet you up there later, huh?
Well, all right, if you'd rather. That's room 810. I'll go out and get a bite and meet you.
You do that. About an hour. Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Regan?
How long have the Delta cotton growers been in town?
The Delta cotton growers?
Uh-huh.
They had their convention last May.
Last May?
Yes, sir.
Who's registered in room 810?
Well, we have no 810, Mr. Regan.
That's what I thought. Thanks. What do you do with a big man, a phony accent, .38 automatic, and no Delta Cotton Growers convention? You tell me. 2 hours later, in a fresh shirt and a wrinkled suit, I was still working on that one as I climbed the stairs to the Ursuline Street address where Patrice Carter lived. It was one of those dirty, unpainted apartment houses in the French Quarter, full of heat and low-watt light bulbs. The girl who opened the door was tall, black-haired, wore a black dress. The picture Lion had given me of Patrice Carter was a blonde.
Yes?
My name's Regan. I wonder if I could see Patrice Carter. Huh?
Patrice, you're a friend of hers?
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles.
How do you do, Mr. Regan? I'm Janice King, Patrice's roommate. Please come in.
All right.
Right this way.
Maybe it was because the 2 big rooms I followed her through were dimly lit, or maybe it was a sweet, sick smell of flowers. I don't know, but perspiration began to trickle down my back, and I braced myself when Janice King opened another door.
Here you are, Mr. Regan.
She was young and lovely and blonde, with a burning candle, very dead. Patrice Carter. I just stood there in that dark room, and I looked down at her. I think there were other people in the room feeling the same as me and thinking the same thoughts. I must have stayed that way for 5 minutes. And then I felt Janice King touch my arm.
Did you know Patrice very long?
No, I didn't.
She asked to have it this way. I know how you must feel being a friend, Mr. Regan.
Look, Miss King, I didn't know her at all, and I didn't know that she was passed away. I'm a private investigator. I was hired by Daniel Carter to locate his daughter.
Daniel Carter?
You knew that she had a father?
Yes, Mr. Regan, I knew. She told me about him. She told me everything. Oh, you aren't the first one who's been here looking for her. There have been others, detectives and lawyers trying to get her to go back.
Carter knew she was here?
If he'd loved her for just one unselfish moment, she'd never have left him. Well, Mr. Regan, she's where he can't bother her anymore. She's where he can't ever see her. Tell him that when you go back. Tell him she's going to be buried tomorrow. Tell him he can stop hiring lawyers and detectives to find her. Why don't you take him a copy of her death certificate? That ought to satisfy him. Now get out! Get out!
Well, the whole thing had looked too easy right from the beginning. I took her advice and I went down to the morgue to get the dope on Patrice Carter's death. There was one white coat there, a little man with a bald head who introduced himself as Oliver Fig.
So you're from Los Angeles.
So how are things in Los Angeles? What'd you say your name was?
Regan, International Detective Bureau. Came here to locate a girl named Patrice Carter. I just came from her apartment.
Mm-hmm. And she's dead.
Yeah, I know. How?
Might have wiggled herself to death. Did a dandy strip number at Joe Glorioso's joint.
Stripper?
Yeah, you got him in Los Angeles, ain't you? Seen that Carter dame lots of times. Great!
Well, I thought maybe you could give me a copy of the death certificate. I got to take something back with me.
Sure. Glad to do it. Oh, she was a real girl. Shame, dirty shame. So how's things in Los Angeles? And let's see. Blanky. No, not the same guy. Blacker. Homicide? They fished him out of the river. Mississippi mud. Get it?
Got it.
So, how are things in Los Angeles? Here you are. Carter. Patrice Carter. 731 Ursuline. Mm-hmm. Coroner's report referred to Dr. Emmett Swarzy. Here you are. Dame died 3 days ago of leukemia.
Let me see that.
Sure.
Leukemia? Then she knew.
Sure. You get tipped plenty in advance on leukemia. Any doctor will tell you almost to the day.
Nothing else?
I mean, was there something fishy about it? Nah, all kosher. So how's things in Los Angeles?
Any relatives?
None listed.
Well, that's it, I guess. Can I have a copy of it?
Sure. Take that, and we got plenty more. Lots of people want death certificates for legal reasons. I once knew a guy who saved them like cigar bands or stamps. One whole wall of his bedroom papered with nothing but death certificates. Imagine, all homicides. So how's things in Los Angeles?
Yeah, this is fine, Oliver.
See you around. Glad to hear things are better in Los Angeles.
Wasn't anything more to do after that but go back to the hotel and try to get a reservation out of town. When I asked for my key, the clerk passed me 3 printed messages telling me that a Mr. Lyon of Los Angeles had been calling. When I got to my room, he called again.
Regan, is that you? Where you been?
Keep your shirt on.
Come on, tell me. Did you see her?
Yeah, I saw her.
What'd you say? She's gonna play ball? How soon are you coming back?
She didn't say anything, and we aren't coming back.
What do you mean?
She's dead.
What?
DEAD. Dead.
She can't do that.
It happened 3 days ago. Leukemia.
Now, wait a minute. Old man Carter's paying us $2,000 to bring her back.
They're going to bury her tomorrow morning, and they don't want any interference. She was laid out. Her roommate laced me up and down for working for the old man. Name of Janice King. Good-looking brunette.
I told Carter we'd bring back his daughter, and we will. There's $2,000 in this, and you know how I feel about money.
Yeah, I know.
So get busy.
Now, look. I've done a lot of dirty, rotten things for you, but he's an old man, and he's sick, and I'm...
And he doesn't wear dark glasses because it's a sunny day. He's almost blind. Now go on over and get that roommate and bring her back. He'd never know the difference.
I won't do it.
Offer her $500 to come here and pose as Patrice Carter for a week. And she can take a powder.
I won't do it.
I'm calling Carter first thing in the morning and telling him you found his daughter and that you're on your way back to Los Angeles.
I won't do it.
Honey, let me take you away from all this. Come on, let's start our audio.
It was in the French Quarter. They served a thing called a Sazerac and promised a very good floor show at 1 o'clock. I sat there watching the piano player and feeling kind of sorry for myself. I figured I had more trouble than anybody else, so I had 3 for Regan. It was about then a tall redhead with a long cigarette holder eased off her stool at the other end of the bar, patted a bald-headed guy on the head, and came over my way. She gave me time enough to get a whiff of her perfume and then leaned into me.
Jane?
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I'm the new headliner. I'm going to dance pretty soon. You ain't antisocial, are you, mister?
No, Red. I'm just lonesome for home.
Where's that?
Los Angeles.
Hey, that's a good town.
And what are you doing here?
Work. I'm the new stripper.
Oh, yeah, you told me.
That's a tough racket. Pick him up and put him down, put him on, take him off. 10 years now.
How about drink?
No, never when I'm working. Later, maybe?
Maybe.
Are you sure you ain't antisocial? I look all right, don't I? I mean, I ain't slipping.
Come here.
Let go.
No hard feelings, Red. I just want to see your face.
You're crazy or something?
Come on, stand still now in the light.
What's the matter? Something wrong with me?
No, not a thing, baby. You're just fine. How long did you say you've been dancing?
I've been dancing 10 years. Let go.
Oh, hold still. That makeup. You wear it all the time?
That's doing my business.
All right.
You had me scared there for a minute. You oughtn't to grab hold of a girl like that.
Red, you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Well, now, wait a minute. I just met you.
No, it's about your face.
What's the matter with my face?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh. Oh, sure, go ahead.
That grease paint and makeup. Using it heavy like that for a long time, it's hard to get off, huh?
Oh, can't ever get all of it off, mister. When you've been in the business as long as I have, always got to have some of it on.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that what you wanted to ask me?
That's it.
Well, you can get more personal than that. You're a little screwy, but I like you.
Not like you, Red. Thanks.
Hey, where you going? What about the drink after my number?
Rain check me, Red. I got things to do. I had to go back to Janice King's apartment. It was a sticky, sick kind of New Orleans night. From one lighted street, I turned off on Ursuline, a darker, dirtier street. I stopped, right in the middle of the block. All kinds of people have followed me at one time or another, and I've followed all kinds of people. But this had a professional feel to it. Stood there, listening, remembering my automatic and my suitcase back at the hotel. It only took him a second. He was a professional, all right. All I could see was well-pressed gabardine, 2 arms, and a hand-painted tie. The next thing was a gun butt carefully wrapped in a white linen handkerchief. Settled slowly against the side of my head. One of the well-pressed arms reached over and held me under the shoulders. I yelled at the top of my lungs, but there wasn't any noise. Regan of International was out as cold as a can of beer.
We'll return to Jeff Regan, Investigator, in just a moment. An easy way to save for future security is by a payroll deduction for savings bonds. Or if you're not paid on a salary basis, you can purchase savings bonds at your nearest post office, bank, or Savings and Loan Association office. Now is the time to ask your employer to start deducting for savings bonds or to buy a bond on your own. If no other plan is feasible, your bank will deduct enough each month from your savings or checking account to buy a savings bond. For money in the future, buy United States savings bonds. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to the story of the Prodigal Daughter and Jeff Regan, Investigator.
I declare you amaze me. When you look at that, isn't that all plain? Him all dressed up like
We won't pay any attention to him, honey.
The next thing I knew, a man in a straw hat and a polo shirt was kneeling down beside me, carefully smelling my breath.
Easy now, buddy, easy. You've been making whoopee. Yep, that Sazerac will do it every time.
Ooh.
You know, you folks visiting down here ought to be more careful. Get your suit all dirty?
It hit me on the side of the head.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the side of the head, sometimes the back. No difference at all. Always wind up in the same place, on the street somewhere. Had enough for the night?
Yeah, plenty.
Mm-hmm. I'll take you to your hotel.
Huh?
That's my cab. I nearly ran over you. Your first trip?
Yeah.
Well, you know better next time.
Oh.
Easy now.
Did did you see my friend? Big man, gabardine suit.
See nobody. Want to look for him?
Later.
Say, what you hunting for?
My wallet.
Somebody take it?
No, nothing's missing. Everything's right here.
Honest town.
Oh, yeah, you're so right.
Well, you feel better when you get back to your place.
Yeah, sure. It wasn't quite right. I didn't feel better until the next morning when I got a telegram and read, "Found out Carter's broke. Come back. Forget the whole thing. Lion." And that was the first good news I'd had in 3 days.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? She's buried, gone.
Yeah, I know. I came back to see you.
Wait a minute. You can't come in here.
I just did.
What do you want now?
You. Yes, you. I was hired to come to New Orleans and bring Patrice Carter back to Los Angeles.
She's dead and buried, and you know it.
That's what you say. That's what a death certificate says. There's only one thing I learned lately. Don't believe what people say. Don't believe what death certificates say.
I don't know what you're trying to do, but...
Oh, stop it, will you? I know you're Patrice Carter, and I know the girl who was buried yesterday was the real Janice King. And I know somebody's trying to make a monkey out of you and a monkey out of me. Now listen to me. If I have to, I can have that body exhumed. I can go into fingerprints and birthmarks you and a lot of things, but I don't think I'll have to. You see, Patrice Carter wasn't the type to do a striptease for a living.
You're just trying to make something out of nothing. I'll call the police and have them arrested.
Last night, I ran into the redhead who took her place. She told me what a tough life it is. 10 years of wearing grease paint can be kind of rough on your skin. The dead girl I saw had those kind of marks. The girl I'm looking for couldn't have been in the business that long.
Why don't you leave me alone?
I don't know who talked you into a thing like this, but it's all wrong. He's an old man now. He's broke and lonely, and he wants to see you. I don't know what your differences are, but I want to take you back. Well, what do you say?
He was so off. He hated. I know he did. I never want to see him again.
What's he been telling you?
Oh, Tim. Oh, Tim, he knows everything.
He doesn't know anything. He'll never know anything. This your boyfriend? He had a phony accent when he tried to shake me down in the hotel lobby. Get out of here, Regan. I played ball and you had to quit trying. It all fits now. This guy's been holding your hand for the last year. He's been real sympathetic. And get out before I throw you out. He told you how to trade names with that poor kid who was dying of leukemia. He told you to send me to that morgue for a death certificate. And he dropped me in the gutter last night to make sure I had it. You know why?
Don't listen to this character, baby. He's off his nut.
He's a private detective from Los Angeles who's been getting paid to make love to you.
No.
Regan, I told you to shut up. Oh, he was good at the side street work, but this was an apartment. He didn't have enough room to move fast. I let him have the top of my head under his chin for a starter. And then I took a lot of feet in my face, but when he started to cross the carpet pulling for that 38, I saw my chance. She stood there and watched him go down.
It's not true. It's not true. You're just here to make more trouble for me. You're just here to make...
Am I? I thought I recognized the touch. Here. Here's his wallet. Look for yourself. Here, catch. Timothy Conover, Private Investigations. Well? Oh, come on, kid. I'll take you back home.
You're back. How was New Orleans? Oh, I didn't know you had someone with you.
I'll see you later, Melody. The lion in?
Yes, but I wouldn't go in. He's in a bad mood.
Uh-huh. What else? Come on, Pat.
Regan! So you finally got back, did you? I suppose you've run an expense account that choke a horse. Well, let me tell you that it's all coming out of your salary. We didn't make a nickel on that Carter thing, and who's this?
Patrice Carter.
How do you do, Mr. Lyon?
I thought I told you to leave her down there, because that old schmo was giving us the runaround and hasn't got a nickel to his name. Besides, she's dead. Yes, she's dead.
That's right. Here's a death certificate to prove it. Now listen to me before you blow the rest of your cylinders. I went to a lot of trouble to bring this girl here.
Well, you can send her back where she came from, and I'll take her fare out of your salary.
On the train coming back, Mr. Regan explained a great many things to me about myself and about you, Mr. Lyon.
Well, I wish you'd explain something to me.
When I was a baby, my father placed a trust in a large holding company under my name. $50,000. And I can claim it any time after my 21st birthday.
Yeah? How old are you now?
Old enough. Mr. Regan found out that much.
I made a phone call to Dun and Bradstreet, know a lot of things.
Go on.
Nothing more, Mr. Lyon, except I claimed that trust today, and I'll be glad to pay you the $2,000 fee that my father promised you.
Well, now, that's very generous of you, Miss Carter. The International Detective Bureau is proud to have had a small part in bringing you and your estranged father together.
I'm not going back to him, Mr. Lyon. I don't want to see you.
Now, my dear, you're upset.
Leave her alone, Lyon. Now, look. I tussled with a private detective named Conover down in New Orleans. He'd been hired by old man Carter to convince Pat that she should switch names with a burlesque girl who was dying of leukemia. Conover does a good job. When the girl dies, Conover wires Carter. Carter comes to you, you call me in and hustle me off to New Orleans, where, according to a perfect setup, I find a phony Patrice Carter dead. I bring back a death certificate, which you turn over to Carter, and then he walks right down and collects that trust fund, which reverts to the original maker only on death.
And him with that story about being old and lonely and wanting only to see his daughter. Telling me he'd pay me a $2,000 fee. Why, that dirty crook, he's no better than I am. He tried to make a sucker out of me.
He did. You fell for the whole thing.
Trust fund in your name. Well, young lady, you can sit right down here at my desk and make out your check. And then I think that as long as you're in town, you might just drop over and see your old father. International Detective Bureau is in business to make people happy.
That's all.
You can pay.
Did everything come out all right?
Yeah, I guess so. She's writing a check. That's what he wants. Cigarette?
Yes.
Thank you.
Why do you do it, Jeff?
Hot in here, isn't it? The air feels good. Makes you clean. He doesn't care whether it's homicide or arson or a lost daughter or just people getting kicked around. He makes money on it. I help him.
You didn't answer me. Why do you do it?
I don't know, Melody. I don't know.
Remember, an easy way to save for the future is to buy United States savings bonds. You can buy bonds at your nearest post office, bank, or savings and loan association, or you can ask your employer to start deducting for a bond a month on the payroll savings plan. A bond a month is good security for the years to come. For money in the future, buy United States savings bonds now. You'll be glad you did. Jack Webb is featured as Jeff Regan, Investigator, with Wilms Herbert as Anthony J. Lyon and Laurette Philbrandt as Melody. Tonight's cast included Betty Lou Gerson as Red, Lou Krugman as Conover, Theodore Von Eltz as Mr. Daniel Carter, Eve McVeigh as Patrice Carter, and Harry Lang as...
How's things in Los Angeles?
Remember, it's CBS same time next week for hard-boiled action and mystery with radio's most exciting private detective, Jeff Regan, as he tells the story of the Lonesome Lady. Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by E. Jack Newman, produced and directed by Gordon T. Hughes, with original music by Del Castillo. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes. Best of all, king-size cigarettes brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. You receive a call from a former suspect you arrested. He wants to meet with you. He claims he has information and contacts with a big narcotics ring. Your job? Check it out. Fatima, America's first, largest selling blended cigarette. Now king size.
See the difference. Taste the difference. Smoke the difference. And in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Yes, you get all the advantages of extra length, plus Fatima quality, which no other king-size cigarette has.
Fatima quality that gives you extra mildness, a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Definitely the best quality in its class, but the same price as the cigarette you're now smoking.
So compare Fatima yourself today. When you see the difference, taste the difference, smoke the difference, you'll switch to Fatima. Because in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Ask your dealer for Fatima in the bright, sunny yellow pack.
Fatima, best of all king-size cigarettes.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, August 9th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working a special detail out of Narcotics Division. My partner's Ed Jacobs. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Freddie. It was 7:28 p.m. when I got to Lincoln Park, the west entrance.
Yes, sir?
Got a couple of bags of peanuts, please?
Yeah, sure thing. 10 a bag, that'll be 20 cents.
All right, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Freddie.
Jack?
Would have come over soon. I saw you walking around the park. Wanted to make sure you weren't tailed.
Yeah, I made sure of that before I came in. Let's go over and sit down.
Okay. Say, there's a lot of stuff just came in town. Some new pushers came with it. You know that?
Yeah, I heard some talk.
Like to knock them over. I got the contacts.
What's in it for you, Jack?
A couple of reasons.
Yeah?
One thing I'd like to pay you back. I got out of jail last week. I talked to the wife. She told me what you've been doing for her and the kids while I've been up.
A nice family, Jack. You let them down.
And you didn't. I'm not going to forget it. Wife still has that job you got her. The kids' asthma's a lot better, too. Appreciate you finding that place in Tahunga for him. It sure helped.
I was glad to do it. Want some peanuts?
Yeah, thanks.
Now, what about this narco ring you mentioned?
Remember Snuffy Breen?
Yeah.
Busted him the same time he did me. Got a year.
Yeah.
Just before I got out of county last week, he told me to go see a guy, get me a job.
What kind of a job?
Same kind you busted me on before. Pushing the stuff.
What's the guy's name?
Cadillac Red.
Hmm?
Yeah. New York, I think. Likes to drive big cars. I guess that's how he got the name.
Hmm? What's the story on him?
Red's been in town a month. 4 or 5 guys with him, all from the east. Red says they got a big one to unload, 6 kilos.
Heroin?
Mm-hmm. Mexican stuff. They seem to be having trouble.
What do you mean?
Finding pushers, setting up a deal. The only contact they had out here was Snuffy's, and the can they're shopping around.
So what's more peanuts, Jack?
Yeah.
You talked to this Red, did you?
Mm-hmm.
What's he asking from you?
Like I said, he wants me to start pushing stuff for him. They need contacts bad. I let him hang. I didn't say one way or the other. He's going to phone me tonight.
Myself? What do you figure you'll tell him?
Depends on you, Friday. I know one thing. I'm not going to start pushing the junk again. You get around it, you handle it, you start to chippy with it. Before you know it, you hook yourself. You figure what you want to do, I'll help all I can. I owe you that much.
You pretty sure the gang needs contacts?
Hungry for them. Sitting on 20 ounces of junk. Can't find anyone to trust to push it to. They got problems.
Yeah. Think you could give me an office to him? Pass me off as a buyer? Friend of yours, maybe?
Good chance. How do you want to do it?
Well, let him know you have a friend who's ready for a buy. Tell him I'm from up north. Make it Fresno. Red Mountain neighborhoods, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
This man, Cadillac Red, he's going to phone you tonight, is that right?
Mm-hmm. I'll call you as soon as I hear from him.
All right, fine. Don't call me at the office. Now, here. Here's my home phone. Don't worry about it. It's a silent number. I can't trace it.
Mm-hmm.
When you call there, if I'm not in, leave the message with my mother, okay?
Your mother, okay. Pleasant 49321. Okay, I'll ring.
How much do you know about this Red? You impress you as a big operator?
Middle size, I guess. He's out in New York. That's about all I know for sure. Same for the rest of the gang. He's supposed to be handling quality stuff real good.
How good?
Red claims it tests out 40%. I don't know what his asking price is.
Where's this Red staying? Did you find that out?
No, he wouldn't tell me. He was at a hotel on West 7th, but he moved yesterday. Memphis guy doesn't settle long in one place. Guess he's got a right to be shaky. All of them have.
How do you mean?
He got all that dough in the white stuff. Close to 50 G's worth. Kill him if you knock him over. Grab the junk.
We'll kill a lot more if we don't. Before I left our informant, Jack Wallace, we set up a plan for future contacts. In case of any emergency, I would not attempt to get in touch with him at his rooming house at 3rd and Olive Streets. Instead, I'd contact him at his work, the Joe Adonis Meat Market on West Temple, where he was employed as a butcher. Wallace also promised to try to get me a sample of the heroin from the narcotics ring. 10:50 p.m. I checked back in at the office and briefed Captain Kearney.
Sounds a little fantastic, Joe. 6 kilos. If it's true, it's a break a cop gets once in a lifetime.
Well, that's the way Wallace tells it. I can't figure any reason why he'd lie to me.
How about this front man, Red? You checked him out yet?
Well, Ed's checking him through the moniker file now. He's a New York operator. That's all Wallace could tell me.
You got any idea where the plant is?
No, I don't. Wallace didn't even know where Red was living. Red's supposed to have a meet with him tonight. I gave him my home phone and told him not to contact the office.
You got any court cases pending?
No, but I got 2 I was going to file on tomorrow.
You better give me the packages. I'll have Lou Walters assign them to somebody else. You and Jacob stay with this gang, put them to bed, and get them up.
All right.
Wallace is going to try to get you a sample of the junk, huh?
Yeah, he said he'd try.
Cap, Joe?
Hi. Hi, Ed. You dig up anything?
I don't know. Found one Cadillac Red. Could be our boy. You get a mug on him? No, all we have is correspondence from New York. There was a warrant on him back in 1945. Same thing, narcotics. Later that year, the warrant was canceled. He was picked up. No disposition. You want us to radiogram New York for a rundown on him? No, let's not stir it up. Starting tomorrow, you two stay away from here. Get yourselves fixed up in a hotel room downtown. Let me know where you're staying.
Okay.
Call me at 2 o'clock sharp in the afternoon. I'll make it a point to be here. Better call me on the inside line. Right, Skipper. Where do you think we ought to set up, Joe?
Oh, I don't know. How about Pop Sherman's place down there on Hill Street? He'll cooperate. You know what that stuff did to his boy.
Yeah, okay.
You want to check in tonight?
No, my wife's going to scream her head off as it is. You better make it in the morning, huh?
All right with me.
Narcotics, Kearney. Oh, yes, ma'am. Just a minute. For you, Joe.
Okay, thank you. Friday talking. Oh, yeah, Ma. Mm-hmm. Did he say what time? Yeah, okay. No, don't worry. I'll get a bite downtown and I'll be home. Yeah, okay. Bye. My mother, Wallace just called my home, left a message for me.
Yeah?
He had to meet with Red. He's got the sample. At 7:30 the next morning, Ed Jacobs and I checked in at Pop Sherman's Hotel on South Hill Street and took adjoining rooms. We'd left all possible identification in our lockers at the office. At 9:30 a.m., technicians from our crime lab arrived and installed a bug in my room and set up the receiver next door in Ed's room. In the event any of the gang happened to come to my room, they'd be able to record the conversation. I registered as Paul Lindsay, San Diego, California. Ed registered as Ray Morrissey, Sacramento. At 11 a.m., I went alone to Adonis Meat Market, where our informant, Jack Wallace, handed me a dummy package, which I took back to the hotel. Inside the package, I found a sample of the narcotics along with a note from Wallace. He wrote that he'd arranged a meet with Red for that night. I was to pick up Wallace in front of the subway terminal building, the Hill Street side, at 9:30 p.m. I gave the sample of heroin to Ed, who took it to the crime lab, where Sergeant J. Allen ran a test on it. The sample tested out within 40%. For the drug market, it's considered good quality. At 9:20 that night, I left the hotel and walked 5 blocks north to the Hill Street entrance of the subway terminal building. Wallace was there waiting for me. He said we were to meet Red at a hotel on West 54th Street. 9:47 p.m. We got to the hotel, went to a room on the second floor.
This one here.
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah, who's it? It's Jack. Morning. Red, this is my friend I was telling you about.
Yeah?
Paul Lindsay. Paul, this is Red.
Hi.
Yeah, I hear you got some H to unload, huh?
What you talking about?
What is this, Jack? You giving me a bum steer here?
Relax, huh? It's all right. He's solid, Red. You can talk.
No, he talks too fast and too much.
I'm here to do business. If you're ready, I am. If you're not, say so. I haven't got the time to play cozy with you.
Oh, now, take it easy with you. Get along a lot better.
Well, what do you want? Jack vouched for me. Isn't that enough for you?
The guy who vouched for Jack's in the county jail. We haven't been able to talk to him. Where have you done business before?
Well, I could ask you the same thing. Now, look, mister, we got one thing in common here. You got something to sell. Maybe I want to buy it. If we can't get together, let's forget the whole thing right now. You're not the only pusher in town.
There's a chair over there. Why don't you sit down? I'll fix a couple of drinks.
Jack can fix them. Let's find out if you and I can get together.
All right.
Same Paul, bourbon and water?
Yeah. Well, how about it? How much you got to sell?
Take it easy, huh? There's no rush. We can talk better over a couple of drinks.
Well, maybe you got the time, mister. I haven't. How much can you furnish me with?
More than you can buy from the looks of it.
Hey, Red, you got any lemons?
No.
No lemon twist in it, Paul. That all right?
Yeah, that's all right. Make it light with it. Now, this junk you got, what's it test?
It's the best this town's seen in a long time. It's 50% or better.
Well, who you trying to con? My tester used your sample this afternoon. He says it won't go 40%.
Okay. You know where you can get better?
Paul?
Here you are. Red.
Thank you.
How about it, Lindsay? Do we do business?
Maybe.
Oh, who's playing cozy now?
Well, if I do go, it won't be for standard price. Your junk isn't worth it.
It's 40%. I don't care what your tester says. An ounce will cost you $400.
No, not to me it won't. I'm not paying out good money for milk sugar. I want a big buy and I want quality, but not at $400 an ounce.
Yeah, maybe we can work something out. Why get excited?
Because I don't like chicken operators. I don't like stalling around. Now, if you got an offer, let's make it.
Price is going to depend on a lot of things. How much merchandise you going to want?
20 ounces. I got customers up north. Have to have it for them the 15th of the month.
Up north where?
San Francisco, Sacramento.
That's funny. We checked on that.
Yeah?
Yeah, the hotel you're at. You're registered for San Diego.
Yeah, good address. I've never been there.
I heard some talk about you. You ever work Fresno?
Maybe. I take customers where I find them.
20 ounces, huh? At the minimum?
For your stuff, yeah. Now, what's the price?
I think we might get together. It's a pretty good buy. Might work out a discount on it.
How much?
3 1/4 an ounce. I figure that's reasonable.
Maybe you do. I don't. $2.75. I can't go better. If I didn't need this stuff right now, I wouldn't offer that.
I'll split the difference. 20 ounces, 300 an ounce. You can't do better than you know it. No? How about it? 300 an ounce?
I'm not lining up for a soft touch. I want another sample when I move on.
You'll get it. Now, what do you say?
All right, you got a deal. 20 ounces. When do I get the stuff?
We'll get in touch with you tomorrow. Through Jack here. 6,000. You sure you got the money?
I got it. Now, what's the setup?
Tomorrow, you'll get the word.
All right. If I don't hear by 4 p.m., I'll know you're gone hinky. I'll look up somebody else.
You'll hear.
How about it, Jack? You ready to go?
Yeah, okay. See you later, Red.
Jack?
Yeah?
You got a wife and a couple of kids.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
All right, Jack.
Okay, fine. Why?
Nothing. I'll talk to you later, Jack.
10:40 p.m. The informant, Jack Wallace, and I took a cab back downtown, and I dropped him off. I got to a pay telephone, called Captain Kearney and my partner, Ed Jacobs, and we set up a meeting. 11:20 p.m. The three of us met on a side street out in the North Wilshire district, and I briefed them on what had happened. In order to prevent any possible harm to either Wallace or his family, the captain told me he'd have them placed under 24-hour surveillance. His children would be kept under observation going and coming from school. The next morning, I stayed close to my hotel room waiting for a contact from either Red or another member of the gang. 1:05 p.m. Hello.
Lindsay, this is Red.
Yeah.
That talk we had last night, you still interested?
Well, yeah, aren't you?
We'll be out on Mission Road 11:30 tonight, west end of the park out there. You'll get your sample.
Mission Road. All right. You going to be there?
No.
How I know your man? He might make a mistake.
He won't make a mistake. He knows you.
I hung up the phone and checked with Ed Jacobs next door to see if he'd picked up the conversation on his receiver. He told me he'd notify Captain Kearney of the plan for that night and that the captain would be in the office if I wanted to contact him on the inside line. As soon as I picked up the sample of heroin, I was to return to my hotel room, and Ed would immediately take it back to the crime lab for analysis. 1:30 p.m. I left the hotel, went downtown to a payphone, called home, and talked to my mother. She said there hadn't been any phone calls. I walked around for a couple of hours, went to a late afternoon show, and then I went over to Frank Tang's place for dinner. 11:15 p.m. I caught a yellow streetcar going north on Main Street and rode to the end of the line on Mission Road. It was about 300 yards from there to the designated meeting place, the west end of the park. The place was dark, completely deserted. 11:25 p.m. 11:30.
Lindsay?
Yeah.
Package you want? Eucalyptus tree back there in the middle of the park.
Where?
Straight back there. You can't miss it. You'll find the package under a rock at the bottom of the tree. See you later.
I started to cross the park. The eucalyptus tree pointed out was about 200 feet from the edge of the road. There was a narrow path hemmed with shrubbery leading up to the base of the tree. There was a large rock beside it. I bent down and looked under the rock. There was nothing there. I started to turn, but it was too late.
All right, where's that? Give him the boot, Stan. Give it to him.
Shake his pocket, Stan.
No identification on him. He's clean.
Let's go. He's got his sample.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action.
Fatima, America's first largest-selling blended cigarette. Now king size.
See the difference. Taste the difference. Smoke the difference. And in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Yes, you get all the advantages of extra length, plus Fatima quality, which no other king-size cigarette has.
You see, Fatima contains the finest domestic and Turkish tobaccos, superbly blended.
And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Fatima, definitely the best quality in its class, but the same price as the cigarette you are now smoking.
No wonder more smokers now insist on king-size Fatima than ever before.
Friends, try Fatima. Buy several packs. Compare them. We're convinced you'll start the new year with Fatima. Yes, when you see the difference, taste the difference, smoke the difference, you'll switch to Fatima. Because in Fatima, the difference is quality. Buy Fatima. Best of all, king-size cigarettes.
When I came to, it was a few minutes past midnight. The bruises on my face and head were beginning to swell. I felt dazed, sick to my stomach. I made my way out of the park and down the road to a public phone booth where I called my partner, Ed Jacobs. He came out right away and drove me back to the hotel. Ed put in a call to Captain Kearney, and he made arrangements to have a doctor sent over to examine me. He treated me for numerous cuts and bruises about the face and head and the upper part of the body. There were no serious injuries. At 10 minutes past 1, Captain Kearney called back and wanted to know if Ed and I could meet him at his home. He didn't want to take the chance of being seen around our hotel. Ed and I drove out to his house in the Silver Lake district.
Come on in. Sit down.
Yeah, thanks, Skipper.
How do you feel, Joe?
Well, my side hurts a little. Fair, I guess.
Yeah, they really gave you a working over. Do you recognize any of them?
Yeah, one guy. I don't know his name, though.
What do you think, Skipper? Round up a whole bunch of them?
No, that's not going to help any. Suppose we pick him up now. What do we got on him? A misdemeanor, battery, 30 days in jail, and they're out again. We're right back where we started.
What do you figure's wrong, Joe? Think they got Hinky?
I don't know. I can't figure.
I think you better take a couple of days off, go home and rest up, let some of those bruises heal.
The whole thing could be blown by that time. The deal will be cold. If we're going to make it pay, I got to stay on it.
How do you know they haven't made you for a cop? The deal might be cold right now.
Yeah, that's possible.
What other reason would they have for tamping you?
How about your friend Jack Wallace? He might have a straight story. Ask him about it.
No, I'll do better. I'll ask Red. Captain Kearney finally agreed to go on with the plan with the understanding that Ed Jacobs and another man from our office would have me under surveillance at all times. It was understood that I'd go back to Red's hotel room to see if I could pick up the loose ends. Jacobs and another officer would follow me to the hotel and remain within calling distance. 2:10 a.m. I got to the hotel on West 5th Street and went up to the second floor to Red's room.
Yeah, who's there?
Lindsay.
How you doing, Lindsay?
You lousy dick.
Hey, lay off, huh?
I ought to break your back.
Wait a minute, Lindsay. Wait a minute. What's this all about?
You want to know? You set your hoods on me. Look at my face.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I went back to pick up the sample. This is what happens. How big do you punks think you are?
All right, Stan, what happened out there?
Not much. You said he was acting smart. We thought we'd cool him off a little.
I told you to keep an eye on him, that's all, not to rough him up.
Oh, he's a crybaby. We hardly touched
Oh,
him.
shut up. Every time you get on that H, you get muscle happy. I've warned you before, Stan. Now, this is the last time. You better quit chipping with that junk. You cause any more trouble like this and you're out, understand?
He's a crybaby, Red. We didn't hurt him.
I heard enough from you. Now go on, take a walk.
Okay.
If you see Max, tell him I want him.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry, Lindsay. These things happen sometimes. Can't be helped.
Why do you keep punks like that around? I thought you were too smart to connect with users. They could get both of us in trouble.
Oh, they'll be all right. Relax. Every once in a while, they get geed up and I have to straighten them out.
I wouldn't trust them with my laundry.
They're all right for what I use them for. They're good errand boys. Can I get you a drink?
No.
All right, what about the stuff? You ready to move on the deal?
I've been ready. I told you I needed the stuff for the 15th.
How about tomorrow night?
What's the matter with right now?
Oh, now, you know better than that. I don't keep the plan around here. I'll call you at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
I still haven't got the sample.
You don't need one. It's as good as the first one you got. Come on, what are you stalling for? I'm getting tired of this sample yak. If you don't want to buy, say so.
You'll bring it to my hotel tomorrow night?
No, I'll call you. I'll tell you where you can pick it up. 20 ounces, 300 an ounce, right?
Yeah, no phony stuff. You keep your hands on the table, so will I. You deliver the merchandise, I'll pay the money.
What are you worrying about? I trust you. Why can't you trust me?
Yeah, sure I did. Look at my face. 3:05 a.m. I left Red and went back downtown to my hotel room. A few minutes after I got in, I heard Ed Jacobs and Lieutenant Lou Walters enter the adjoining room. I checked the hallway first, and then I went next door and briefed them on what had happened with Red. I told him I'd let Ed know about the time and the place of the meet as soon as I heard. Waller said he'd keep enough men ready at the office to cover the area on short notice. I went back to my room, took a shower, and got some sleep. At 8 o'clock that night, I was in my room standing by the phone. I waited. No call. 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:15, still no word. 9:25 p.m. Hello.
Lindsay, this is Red. Sorry I'm late. I couldn't get to the plant.
Well, what's the pitch?
It's all set. Norwich Grill, West 7th Street.
When?
10:30 sharp.
Before he hung up, Red told me to meet one of his pushers in the last booth at the back end of the grill. He said I'd recognize him. The man would have the package of heroin wrapped in newspapers. I was to hand him $6,000 and he would give me the package. I immediately contacted Ed in the room next door and he notified the office. At 10:15 p.m., I left the hotel with a dummy package of money containing 6 marked bills. 10:28 p.m. I got to the Norwich Grill on West 7th Street. It was almost empty. I went to the rear booth where I found one of Red's pushers, Stan, drinking coffee.
Right on the dot. Sit down, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Now, let's not camp on this thing. You got the money?
I done business with you before. Where's the stuff?
Didn't Red tell you where to be?
Yeah. Wrapped up in that newspaper. He told me there'd be some stuff under a rock one time. It wasn't there. I want to look.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me?
You think I got a reason to?
All right. Have a look. There, you satisfied?
No. Open it.
All right. It's all there. I saw it made up. That enough for you?
Yeah. Okay. You just made a deal.
Yeah, what do you have?
Coffee, black, piece of apple pie.
All right. You? Coffee. All right. Okay, stuff's there. Now, how about the loot?
I got it.
Let's have it. 6 G's. Red wants me back in a hurry.
Well, relax. We'll have some coffee. This is a big deal.
Money. Now, how about it?
All right. There you go. What's the matter with you? What are you shaking about?
Nothing. I'm a little nervous. Red wouldn't let me have a fix before I left. Getting a little sick. I'm going to have a look here.
What are you doing? Red told me to tell you not to open it till you got it back to him.
Who are you kidding, mister?
All right, you go ahead and open it up. You'll have to answer for it, not me.
Sure. Hey, now what's the deal? Only a few bills in here. The rest of it's paper. You trying to beat us?
It's already done.
You won't get away with this. We'll fix you up. Max is outside.
Friday, we saw him take the envelope. You get the stuff?
Yeah, right here.
Guy waiting outside, Joe. We got him. They're taking him in now.
Cops, lousy cops. Wait till Red hears about this.
He will. Ted?
Yeah, I'll get him. Okay, let's go.
Come on, fella, move.
What are you grabbing me for? I deliver the stuff, that's all. These big deals aren't mine. I'm small time. Fix once in a while, that's all I want. Just little fixes. The biggest deal I ever made.
Yeah, sure.
It's the truth. Now, what about Red? He's got a lot of their stuff left. This guy's above him. Big dealers. Why don't you get them?
We'll get them.
You'll never guess who the other two are. They're real high powers. Big deals. Nothing but big deals. You won't bust them 100 years.
Yeah, let's go. Get my coat, will you, Ed, please?
Yeah, okay.
Hey, you forgot your check. Who's going to pay for the coffee?
Here you will.
Who?
This one.
Me?
Yeah, you just made a big deal.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 13th, the booking was made at the Los Angeles Police Department, Watts Substation, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that booking.
And now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, last year we were honored with thousands of letters from listeners all over the country. Letters telling us that you've bought Fatimas and you find them the best of all king-size cigarettes. Well, thanks to you and the many thousands of other smokers who have switched to Fatima. Now, if you haven't tried Fatimas yet, make this your cue for the new year. Next time, get yourself a pack of Fatimas. Compare them. See the difference. Taste the difference. Smoke the difference. And when you do, I'm convinced that you'll switch to Fatima. Because, believe me, in Fatima, the difference is quality.
The two suspects, Stanley Parrish and Max Higbee, were booked at the Watts substation on suspicion, the Narcotic Act, felony. After a meeting in the district attorney's office, they expressed their desire to assist the police in the apprehension of the outstanding members of the gang. They were filed on, and before a magistrate in municipal court, they waived their right to a preliminary hearing to conceal the fact of their arrest.
Next week, The Big Red, Part 2. Ladies and gentlemen, to build our strength against aggression, we must equip our armed forces with the weapons of war. At the same time, we must produce adequate supplies of civilian goods in order to keep prices down and defeat inflation. We can meet this double challenge by raising our productivity, by turning out more goods and services for every hour we work, and by refusing to let up until our nation is secure. Remember, the better we produce, the stronger we grow.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Heard tonight were Barney Phillips and Stacey Harris. Script by Jim Moser. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all king-size cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Every one of your waking hours, NBC broadcasts the very finest in comedy, mystery, music, drama, news, and programs of public service. So always set your dial to NBC, the leader in radio programming. Counter Spy fights international intrigue next on NBC.
about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes. Best of all, king-size cigarettes brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. You're in the middle of a drive to break up a $100,000 narcotics ring. You apprehend two of the lesser gang members. You still haven't reached the big operation. You still haven't found their store of heroin. Your job? Get them.
Fatima, America's first, largest selling blended cigarette. Now, king size.
1950. Fatima sales higher than ever before in Fatima history.
1951, another record year. Fatima sales up and up. Why, in 1 month alone, Fatima sales were up 110% coast to coast.
Friends, for your smoking in 1952, insist on Fatima. Enjoy Fatima quality, extra mildness, and superbly blended tobaccos.
Remember, the name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality. Yet Fatimas cost the same as the cigarette you're now smoking.
Compare them. When you see the difference, taste the difference, smoke the difference, you'll switch to Fatima. Because in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Each king-size Fatima gives you a long, extra mild, and soothing smoke with the added protection of Fatima quality. Buy Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Sunday, August 14th. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working a special detail out of narcotics division. My partner's Ed Jacobs. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Freddie. It was 1:23 a.m. when I got to 5th and Ceres, southwest corner.
Hi, Joe.
Ed, Captain, you been waiting long?
Just got here. All right, Jacobs. Okay.
Where'd you finally book in the two of them?
77th Division, substation watch. Parrish here is willing to cooperate. Told us everything he knows about the gang.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, Stan. You won't regret it.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
Hope it helps. Red and the other guys find out about it. It's going to be rough.
They're not going to find out from us. We're heading out for East Hollywood, Joe. Apartment house out there. Parrish says that's where Red makes his pickups.
Whereabouts is that, Stan?
I don't know the address. I know the neighborhood, though. I'll recognize the place when I see it.
How you feel now, Stan? Any better?
No, lousy. Sure could use a fix about now.
Sorry, Parrish. Can't help you there.
How you going to handle this thing, Captain? I mean, picking up Stan and Max Higbee. You figure we can keep it quiet?
The newspapers are going to cooperate. They're not going to print a word about it.
I'm going to handle the court work. Stan and Max are going to waive their preliminary. Ought to give us 5 to 6 weeks of quiet if we need it. Can't reach the rest of the gang by then, we'll never reach them.
Sure feel lousy. Sick. I never tried to kick the habit before. How long does it take?
Well, it all depends. How bad are you hooked?
Oh, not bad. I'm just chippy with it. Not more than a cap a day.
Where do we go now, Stan? Keep going straight?
Yeah, straight ahead. Turnout's not for a while yet.
Well, how do you figure it from here on in, Captain? What do I do about Red?
Well, you're going to have to con your way through. I had the crime lab fix up a dummy package for you on the seat there.
Uh-huh.
Has the same wrappings as the one the real stuff came in. Package Stan gave you in the restaurant. You take it back to Red and scream your head off.
Yeah?
You tell him you got the package from Stan and Max and you paid him the 6 G's for it. You opened it up and found it full of powdered sugar. Read 'em off. Put it on big. You got a gun?
No, I haven't. I checked it in my locker when I started on this thing.
All right, take mine.
Okay.
Make it heavy. Pretend you're going to gun him.
What if it doesn't work, Skipper?
That's taken care of, too. There'll be a couple of men down in the street, Joe. If you got your back to a wall, break the window. They'll come running.
Okay, I'll give it a try. You think Red's still at his hotel, Stan?
Sure. He's probably waiting for me and Max.
Anybody with him, you think?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Ed, I wonder if you'd call my mother the first chance you get. She might be a little worried.
Don't have to. She called the office before we left.
Oh.
I think I convinced her everything was all right.
Oh, thanks a lot. Come.
That's it. We'll let you out at the next corner. Head back for the hotel.
Right.
Good luck, Joe.
Right, Ed. Thanks.
How about it, Parrish? Anything else you can give us that might help him?
I don't know. It's going to take a lot of front. Only one way you can get that.
Yeah?
You better get yourself a good fix.
I left Captain Kearney, Ed Jacobs, and the narcotics suspect, Stan Parrish, on the corner of Western and Wilshire and made my way to Red's Hotel on West 54th Street. I went up to the second floor and found his door open. I walked in. Red was sitting in an overstuffed chair next to the radio, listening to the police calls coming in.
What's the matter now, Lindsay? Why the gun?
Don't try any of your conning this time, you two big
What's
thief.
the matter with you? Put the gun down.
No, not before I get what's coming to me. You and your lousy punks.
What are you talking about? Where's Stan and Max?
Dead, I hope. That leaves only you to deal with. I should have known better the first time when you had me tamped. I should have gotten out right then.
What's in your craw, guy? Come on, let's settle.
Oh, you know what. Now look for yourself. 6 G's worth, powdered sugar. You didn't think you could beat me for this, did you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's more in this than me. If you don't square up this thing with us, there's ways of taking care of you. I'm on the lam anyway. Now, one more beat isn't going to make that much
Put that
difference.
gun down, will you? Now, let's talk it out. It doesn't make sense. If you've been beat, then so have I.
Don't try to sell me that line. Get both of them out. I know they're here. Now, come on, get them out here.
Watch that gun, will you? I don't know what you're getting at, Lindsay. They're not here. Didn't you see them, Max and Stan?
Sure, I saw them. That's why I'm here. I gave them the money, 6 yards of it, and that's what I got, powdered sugar. Now, you start explaining, smart guy.
It's the truth. I don't know where they are. I gave Stan and Max 20 ounces to take to you. I told Stan to make the meet with you inside the restaurant. Max is supposed to be the lookout.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So help me. I don't get it. Two of them never tried anything like this before. Weren't you tipped off at all? Maybe the way they acted. Something they said.
No, nothing. That moot Stan was a little unhappy. He said he wanted a fix and you wouldn't give it to him.
That's right, I wouldn't.
Well, then you should have known better. It's no time to get stingy with him when he's going to make a deal for you.
You know what happened the last time he took a fix before a job. I sent him out to that park to watch you. He ends up by tamping you. I'm leveling with you, Lindsay. I think we've both been taken. I still don't get it, though. I can't understand why they'd run out on me.
Now, look, I haven't got the time to draw you pictures, mister. All I know is my dough's gone and you haven't delivered the stuff. Now, you get with it.
Now, wait a minute. How do I know for sure?
What?
How do I know you didn't get the real merchandise? And you took care of Max and Stan? How do I know you didn't build a frame?
Oh, sure. That's why I'm back here. I got 20 ounces free and I want another 20. I met those mooches of yours and took care of them all by myself. Now, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, get off it, Red. You're not going to poor mouth me out of this. I paid my 6 G's and I want the merchandise. Full 20 ounces and I want it right now.
You're crazy. I can't do that. You have to give me time. We don't keep this stuff here. It isn't mine in the first place.
What are you handing me?
It isn't. I'm just a middleman, that's all. You'll have to give me time. Maybe we can work out something for you.
You bet you're going to work out something for me. You got my 6 G's. Why'd you try and big shot me in the first place?
Calm down, Mark.
Trying to make me believe you were the big man. You ought to get wise to yourself, Red. Why should I deal with a middleman? I can probably buy the junk cheaper from your boss. Now, where's he?
You couldn't buy it at 2 G's an ounce. He wouldn't sell it to you. I handle all this stuff. I'm the only one he works through.
What makes you so special? You can't even handle a 20-ounce deal and keep it straight.
Now, stay cool, will you? Give me 24 hours.
What am I supposed to be doing in the meantime?
Same thing I'll be doing, worrying about getting that stuff back.
Why try and cover up? Your mooches ran out on you.
Maybe. I want to make sure I'll get the word out.
Yeah?
I'll find out what happened.
Before I left Red, we set up a meet for the following night in his hotel room at 7 p.m., Then I left, went downtown to an all-night drugstore, and put in calls to Captain Kearney and my partner, Ed Jacobs. I briefed them on what had happened with Red, and the captain set it up for the 3 of us to meet early that morning and plan the next move. The meeting point was down off Gallardo Street, alongside the Santa Fe train yards.
Joe, over here.
Hi, Ed. Captain.
Hi. You're a little late. Anything happen?
Well, I did some doubling back. Wanted to make sure I wasn't followed.
Things worked out with Red, huh? No trouble?
Well, not so far, no. I think he went for my story. He said he's going to do some checking around, though. Try to find out what happened to Stan and Max.
Yeah, I halfway figured that.
That story you told him, I thought if Red bought that, you'd be in.
He didn't buy it that far. I guess it made an impression waving a gun at him, but he still has some doubts.
What else can you do to get yourself in solid? You tried about it, everything, Joe.
I've been kicking around an idea. It might work for you. I don't know.
Yeah?
Put on a phony shakedown for him. Might give you a chance to show him how tough you're supposed to be. What do you think?
Well, maybe. Ought to help out if we stage it right.
When's your next meet with Red?
7 o'clock tonight, his hotel.
Room 231, that it?
Yeah, that's right. How do you want to work it?
Oh, I'll get a couple of men from Metro Division, have them in uniform. We better have them work in a radio car.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a good reason for him breaking in on you.
How about a 415, Skipper? Joe could go up to the room, pick an argument with Red, and make noise, a lot of loud talking.
Yeah, that sounds okay.
All right. Both of the men in the radio car will be thoroughly briefed. You'll know what to do Friday. You're out to sell yourself. Act as tough as you think you have to.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Play it up to the hilt. You give Red the least idea the shakedown's a phony and we're washed up.
Yeah.
Phone me at the office as soon as you can, the inside line. We'll be waiting for the call.
Right. And just one more thing.
Yeah?
How about that apartment house Stan was going to show you last night, the place where Red's supposed to pick up the junk?
He pointed the place out all right. It's going to take some checking.
How do you mean?
Stan said he drove Red to this apartment house about a dozen times. Always had to stay in the car, though. Red went in alone. Didn't know which apartment Red went to.
Well, can't we check him out, Captain?
Got some men on it now. Going to take a little time. Big layout.
All right.
47 apartments.
I left Ed and Captain Kearney and caught a streetcar back to my hotel. I had some scrambled eggs, toast, and coffee in the grill next door, and then I went up to my room and got a couple hours sleep. Late that afternoon, I took in the show at a newsreel theater, had a bite to eat, and then headed out for Red's Hotel on West 54th Street. I got there a few minutes before 7. Red was waiting. Apparently, he'd failed to dig up any information on what had happened to his two operators, Stan and Max. I accused him again of trying to swindle me out of $6,000. I demanded the 20 ounces of heroin. Red had nothing to offer but apologies.
All right. Relax, will you? Take it easy. I'll work out something.
Take it easy, nothing. You do enough of that for the both of us. You sit there and listen to that radio. Why don't you get out and hustle up those two mooches of yours and get my dough back?
All right. You don't have to scream. I said I'd work something out.
All right, then start working. Get it. The dough or the white stuff. I gotta have it by the end of the week.
What do you want to do? Have it all over the hotel? Keep it down, will you?
Why? You take me for 6 G's and I'm supposed to play it nice? Now come off it, mister.
I didn't take you for 6 G's.
Those two mules did, and you own them. Either you square this up or everybody in the business is going to know about this.
What's got into you anyway? You've been boozing it up today?
Don't you worry about me. I'll take care of my end. Real big operator, huh, Red? You had all the eights. You handled everything. A real big shot, aren't you?
All right, forget it.
Red, the big wheel. He handles all kinds of deals. 50 cents to $5. After that, they get too big for him.
I said forget it, Lindsay.
When this one gets around, they're going to laugh you right out of the business. You can go back to selling razor blades. And knock that radio off. I'm sick of hearing that.
You gotta quiet down.
You think you're ready to handle it, do you?
I told you I'd try and work out something for you. Now, playing tough's gonna get you nothing you ought to know, Ed. What's that?
What's it sound like? Yeah, who is it?
Police officers, open up.
What is this? What do you got in me?
Shut up, will you? Take it easy. Can't tag us what I mean.
All right, open up.
Well, I'm getting out of here. I'm not going through any shakedown.
You're out of your mind? Hold it. All right, I didn't mean to keep you waiting. Come on in, officers.
What's all the noise about up here?
Nothing. We just having a friendly argument, that's all.
Can I see your identification?
Sure.
You, stay put.
Yeah?
Harry, you better shake him down.
Yeah, right.
All right, back against the wall.
Okay.
Come on, hands behind your head. Keep them there.
You bet. The lousy fuzz. Hey, grab the other one. All right, good. Both of them.
You crazy fool. Now what do we do?
You don't have to worry about the other one. He's out cold. Take the gun off this one here. I'll get his handcuffs.
Why'd you have to do it? Why'd you have to start something?
I told you I can't afford a shakedown. You ought to know that.
Better give it up, both of you. You're not going to get away with it.
Shut up, will you?
You won't go far.
Come on, Red. Help me drag him over here.
What are you going to do?
A Fed post here. All right, get his wrists around here. That's it. That'll hold him.
Lindsay, you're out of your mind. What do we do with him now?
Don't worry about that. How's his partner?
Nothing doing. He's still out.
All right, now, cop, let's have it. What's the idea of the shakedown?
When we pick you up again, you'll get the idea.
Now, come on, let's have it.
Why don't you lay off? That's not going to get us out of this.
For a big dealer, you got a lot of chicken in you. Now, look, cop, give. Why the shakedown?
You're wasting your time.
Maybe I can change your mind.
Lindsay, you're crazy. Put that gun away.
Now, come on, cop, talk. Who gave you the
Put
tip-off?
that gun away, will you? It's only going to get us in deeper.
I want some answers. These fuzz didn't come along by accident. There had to be a tip-off.
How do you know? You were talking up a storm in here, making a lot of noise. Somebody in the hotel could have complained. Come on, get out of here.
Leave the two of them behind to identify us? That ain't going to work.
It's got to. What else can we do?
We can kill them.
You're out of your mind.
I can kill them right now.
You'll do it alone, Lindsay. I'm getting out.
We still got business to do.
I'm not looking for a murder rap. Now, come on, give it up. Let's get out of here.
As soon as we leave, we're going to have to start running. I won't be good for more than a day in this town. What do I do about my deal?
Come on, we can talk about it later. Come on.
We can talk right now. You handed me the stall long enough. I got 24 hours left. I want it settled.
Okay, I'll talk to the big man. I promise you.
I want to have a meet with him.
I don't know.
Now, you listen. That $6,000 buy was a drop in the bucket. I want to buy more. If the big guy's ready, so am I.
You got the money?
I got it. Cash. Now, how about the meet? How about it, Red?
Okay, I'll set it up.
Red got his things together, and we took the rear fire escape that led down to a service alley behind the hotel. Before the two of us separated, we agreed that Red would call me at my hotel at 10 o'clock the following morning. I wasn't altogether sure, but it seemed as though the act I'd put on at the phony shakedown had impressed Red quite a bit. Before I went back to my hotel, I called Ed Jacobs and Captain Kearney and briefed them on the developments. At 10 o'clock the next morning, I was waiting by the phone in my hotel room. At 10:15, Red called.
I talked to the big man this morning. I told him what you wanted.
Yeah? What's the answer?
It's going to be a fast deal, cash and carry.
Well, I'm ready. Is he?
I think so. Took a lot of talking.
All right. What about the meet?
I'll pick you up at your hotel. I'll take you to it.
When?
8 o'clock tonight.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action.
Fatima, America's first largest-selling blended cigarette. Now king size.
See the difference. Taste the difference. Smoke the difference. And in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Yes, you get all the advantages of extra length, plus Fatima quality, which no other king-size cigarette has.
You see, Fatima contains the finest domestic and Turkish tobaccos, superbly blended.
And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Remember, the name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality, yet Fatimas cost the same as the cigarette you're now smoking.
Friends, compare Fatima yourself today. When you see the difference, taste the difference, smoke the difference, you'll switch to Fatima. Because in Fatima, the difference is quality. Each king-size Fatima gives you a long, extra mild and soothing smoke, with the added protection of Fatima quality. Buy Fatima. Best of all king-size cigarettes.
Tuesday, August 16th, 10:33 a.m. As soon as I got word from Red about the meet he'd set up for me with the big man, I called Captain Kearney on the inside line and briefed him on the way things stood. He said he'd have 3 teams of men ready to tail me and cover the meet. They'd work alternately in 3-way radio cars in order to reduce the risk of discovery to the minimum. He also told me the check of tenants was continuing at the East Hollywood apartment house, where Red apparently was picking up his supply of heroin for distribution. So far, the detail of men assigned to the job had failed to uncover any definite leads. At 8 minutes past 8 o'clock that night, Red picked me up at my hotel, and together we drove out along Alhambra Avenue. We parked alongside the edge of a private golf course just north of the Ocean Highway.
Smoke?
Okay, thanks.
Better match?
Yeah. Well, what about it? We've been here 15 minutes already.
A lot of time. Deals like this, the boss doesn't like to hurry things.
Yeah, well, maybe you ought to get with it.
Relax, will you?
So we waited. 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11. Still no sign of the big man. 11:30, 11:45. No sign.
What time you got, Lindsay?
10 minutes to midnight. Have you got any ideas?
Yeah, I guess I can tell you now.
Well, you make this one real good, will you? It's been a long wait.
Boss wants to make sure about you, that's all. He's checking his contacts where you said you operate up around Fresno, isn't that right?
All right, so he's checking on me. What's he want, a blood sample?
He's careful. He wants to make sure. If it didn't show, this is what he told me to tell you.
Yeah?
If you're cleared all around with his contacts, the meet's set for tomorrow afternoon.
Where?
I'll get to it. The deal's this. You said you wanted a big buy. The boss has got it.
How much?
2 kilos. Same good stuff you sampled, high-grade Mexican. You can get it at $10,000 a kilo.
Well, that's not bad if it's good quality. What's the breakdown?
It's 40% good. You're getting a fat discount. You know that.
Well, that depends. 2 kilos, 10 G's apiece, $20,000.
You got it. Cash and carry.
That's a lot of scratch to get together in a hurry.
You got a whole day. No dough, no junk.
All right, I'll get it. Where's the meet?
Out by South Pasadena. They're holding a big flower show in the neighborhood. You'll meet him there. Contact me for the time.
Yeah. When'll it be? When do I meet him?
When you got to 20,000.
11:15 p.m. Red drove me back downtown and dropped me off at 4th and Main. Before we separated, he told me he'd call me early the following afternoon regarding the time of the meet with the big man, providing I had the $20,000 for the narcotics buy. 1 a.m. After stopping off at a cafeteria and then a coffee counter to make sure I wasn't being tailed, I got to a public telephone, put in a call to Captain Kearney.
South Pasadena, a flower show sometime tomorrow afternoon, that right?
Yeah, that's it, Captain.
All right, we'll cover it all the way.
Well, how about the money? What do you think?
You got a little with you, haven't you?
A little, yeah.
Okay, fake it the best way you know how. We'll be around. As soon as you make sure the guy has the junk with him, pass the signal, we'll move in.
Right.
Something else. You get any lead at all on the big man tonight?
No, nothing. How about you?
Good piece of luck. I think we got him spotted.
Before he hung up, Captain Kearney told me that the careful screening of tenants in the East Hollywood apartment house pointed out to them by Stan had netted a couple of prime suspects. They were an elderly couple, a Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Leslie. Besides the fact that he had a narcotics record in the East, Mr. Leslie operated a second-hand bookstore on Beverly Boulevard, which apparently was being visited often by known narcotics peddlers. Early the following afternoon, Red called me at my hotel room, and I told him I had the $20,000 for the buy. He picked me up at 1:45 p.m. I flashed a stack of money containing mostly $1 bills, and he seemed satisfied. He drove me out to the site of the flower show in South Pasadena, a large glass-domed conservatory just off the Arroyo Seco freeway.
Let's head back this way, huh?
Yep.
Sure nice flowers, huh? Just beautiful.
How many times are we going to have to cover this route? I've seen everything twice already.
Won't be long. A couple of minutes. Oh, this way. Come on. Yeah, they're sure pretty.
Look, I don't get any of this. If we got business, why can't it be in private? This your big man's idea of a joke?
It's protection, Lindsay. He's got to be careful. I guess he figures this is the last place they'd look for him.
We'll make another round of this place. We'll stand out like a sore thumb.
Now, relax. You'll make the buy. Coming up right now.
What?
Come on, follow me. Tom, what do you say?
Oh, hi, Red. What do you think of my gladiola entries? Those up there. Can you say they're beauties?
Yeah, they're real great, Tom.
Took me 3.5 years to get blooms like that. South African species, you know, the Chelsea type. Raised them right in a little greenhouse back of our place.
Huh?
You see, the scarlets and the whites, those are mine.
Yeah. Oh, Tom, I'd like to have you meet that friend of mine. Lindsay, this is Tom.
Hi.
How do you do? What do you think of my entries? Raised every one of them from seeds, Lindsay. They take a lot of care.
Yeah, they're all right.
Plenty of care. Especially those, the South African type. They take a good, stiff, sandy loam, quality fertilizer, just the right kind of heat and water. Takes a lot of work. Proud of them.
Yeah. Look, I haven't got too much time to spend. Maybe we better talk outside. Huh?
Yes, that takes quite a lot of work. Beautiful blooms. You have all the money with you?
All of it. You got 2 kilos?
That's correct. You can go out the side way. Hey, Red, you follow behind. Keep an eye open.
Right, sir.
This way. Sorry for the delay. It's necessary sometimes.
Yeah.
You came out with Red. You double-checked you weren't followed.
I double-checked. I've been doing business longer than Red.
Maybe we can make it a permanent tie. Out here. My car's this way.
You always make deals in the open, public places?
Not always. It has its advantages.
You sure this is the H.I. sample? No, I don't want another phony buy.
It's no phony. You can be sure of that. Here's the car. Well, the money.
Well, you show me the stuff. Red knows I got the money.
Red.
Yeah, Tom.
The money. You saw it before you brought him here?
Yeah, he showed it to me.
Right here in my pocket. Have a look if you want. Now, come on. I can't afford to camp on this thing.
All right. Keep a lookout, Red.
All right, sir.
In the car, Lindsay. There. Under the dashboard here. I always find that's the best place. You have a car, of course.
I'll go back with Red.
All right. There you are. 2 kilos. Now the money.
What about breaking the package? How do I know it's not more powdered sugar?
Of course it's not. Wait a minute. What is this? Those men coming up to the car.
Take it easy, mister.
I'm getting out of here. Let go.
Come here.
Let go. No.
All right, Joe, I got him. Hold him, Ed. I'll shake him down.
We got the other one, Red. No trouble.
Good. Okay, he's clean.
Red. Stupid Red. I should have known.
Joe, good work. Stuff all there?
Yeah, 2 kilos.
You want us to take him back in our car, Skipper? All right. We'll take in the other one. Meet you at the parking lot gate. We'll follow you in.
Right. All right, mister. This way.
Look, let me ask you a favor. Won't take a minute.
Yeah?
Let me call my wife. I want to let her know what's happened. I want her to come out here and get my flowers. I got some valuable plants in that show.
That'll be taken care of. Your wife couldn't make it anyway. She was picked up an hour ago.
No, couldn't be. What's going to happen? Every dollar I own, all my merchandise, 2 kilos, best quality, all of it.
We'll take care of that. Come on, let's go.
All I got, those beautiful plants. You can do that much for me. Let me go back and get my flowers. They're prize gladiolas. It won't hurt anything, will it? Just let me take some with me. Just a few till I get back.
Why bother? They won't last that long.
The story you have just heard was true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 4th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 84, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
And now here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. When you compare Fatima, see the difference, taste the difference, and then smoke that difference, I'm convinced that you'll switch to Fatima, because in Fatima, the difference is quality. Now, to show our confidence in Fatima, we're making a money-back guarantee to every king-size cigarette smoker. Buy a pack of Fatimas. Enjoy Fatima quality, extra mildness, and superbly blended tobaccos. If you're not convinced Fatima is better than the king-size cigarette you're now smoking, just return the pack and the unsmoked Fatimas before April 1st, and we'll give you your money back, plus postage. That's Fatima, Box 37, New York 1. Buy Fatima. Each king-size Fatima gives you a long, extra mild, and soothing smoke with the added protection of Fatima quality.
Thomas Leslie and William Red Forrester were filed on in the district attorney's office for violation of the State Health and Safety Code, Section 11,500. Both men were tried in Superior Court and found guilty of the charge. The violation carries a penalty of imprisonment in the state penitentiary for not less than 5, nor more than 10 years. Because of their cooperation in the investigation and apprehension of the narcotics gang ringleaders, Stan Parrish and Max Higbee were given 1-year sentences in the county jail with 5 years probation. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Heard tonight were Barney Phillips and Stacey Harris. Script by Jim Moser. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all king-size cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Next, it's David Harding and Counter Spy on NBC.